KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Rob Thompson, Rudy J. R&R in the morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Rudy J.
What up, Rob?
Good morning, Karl. Shawnee.
What up, K. Dot?
Welcome on to R&R in the morning. I hope your Wednesday is starting out with a bang, not a whimper. Open a window. Walk outside.
Man.
You'll wake up in the fall.
Or your car will blow over.
Yeah, you're going to suddenly change lanes this morning and not realize why. So just two hands on the steering wheel. Don't mind them brake lights. We'll get you going to work. Just drive around for the next 3 hours. We got a lot for you. Missed yesterday. I hope everybody... I would like to say that I listened. I slept through yesterday's show.
Karl said that. Karl called it. He was like, I'm willing to bet he's asleep.
No, yesterday was wonderful, actually.
You one, weren't feeling too hot,
No.
but two, your body needed that reset.
You reach an age. I would like to say that some sort of beastie got me. And it did a little sinus infection, but I think I put myself in a position. I walked down the dark alley.
Yeah, this past weekend, you thought you were Aggie. You thought you were A&M Rob this past weekend.
And Monday,
you found out like, oh.
I think the quality of the show reflected the Saturday night and Sunday morning that I enjoyed.
It's all right, man. You know what's crazy, right? When we were discussing this before this all happened, like, hey, you know what it seemed on paper, on paper, getting up at 5 every day was like,
It
hey,
seemed pretty good, right?
yeah, we're like, hey, man, it's gonna be all, which it is. It just takes some adjusting.
Used to being a PM guy forever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You've been a 4 to 7 guy. You
Forever.
Yeah,
forever.
you're a were you a vampire?
Always.
4 to 7?
Now it's funny. When I wake up to pee the first time, as the Flomax kicks in, you know what I mean? Staggered to the bathroom at 12:30 and think, now I'm like, oh my God, it's already 12:30. Before 12:30, shoot, I was getting my snack.
Yeah,
I was just getting going.
See what else is on TV.
Oh, I was, by 12:30 used to be, that was when I dig into the DVR. That's when I would catch up on the things that I had missed.
Watch some Office. This guy, Rob, I don't know if anybody watches The Office more than Rob.
3 a day keeps the doctor well. Not necessarily.
Laughing is good for the soul, they say.
And when you wake up with a sore throat, there we go. Here we go.
Stomach ache or sore throat. I'm a little girl.
So I went and had to get it. Well, I went to the doctor thinking, of course, I've got it.
Yeah,
of course.
That's sad, right?
Yeah, I got it. It's a matter of time. I've been telling myself, my wife's a teacher and she's on the front lines of this stuff. So just a matter of time, I keep telling myself. So you were due. You've had a good run. Finally going to happen. No, didn't. I didn't have it. It's a sinus thing, but
it's floating.
The medical assistant where I went said that when I walked in, I said I had this, and she asked me about do you still have your senses smell and taste, and I said yeah, I do. Because you probably don't have it. She said that most
with the Delta, that's what it is.
Yeah,
the first thing.
That's it wasn't so much on the first round, the first bout we had, but on this one, first they said the numbers were way down, at least at their clinic or at their place. And I didn't have my
mom says it's glad to see you back.
Well, I'm glad to be amongst. Better. Thank you, ma'am. It's nice to be awake and amongst my friends and cohorts.
Yeah, man. That's the first thing I thought when you text us, like, hey, sore throat, guys. I was like, oh man.
I know. And we work in a glass box.
Yeah, so I was like,
we have to be very, very, very,
very careful.
Be very careful.
I was like, I guess I'm headed to go get tested.
I was very much afraid.
Then I didn't hear from you last night. And then, it's always weird because you don't want to bother someone, but at the same time, you are concerned. So, because Minix texted me like, have you heard from Rob? I was like, dude, I don't want to bother him.
I was fast asleep.
No, this was last night. So
I was fast
asleep.
asleep.
Okay. I was like, I ain't going to bother him, man. He'll hit me in the morning.
I had a unique dosage of steroid, antibiotic, and NyQuil.
That steroid, how long is that needle on the steroid?
I didn't want to see.
You didn't look?
I did.
I don't either.
I can tell you where I got it right now. I can still feel it.
Oh, they put it on your ass?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, that's where I asked for it.
And more meat.
Yeah. I got a little bit
more.
The
arm gets too sore.
No, I can't. I'd rather not. But they were already, it's like, boom, boom.
Yeah, because when I got the vaccine, my arm was sore. A lot of people's wasn't. My arm was sore like 2 days.
One of them's thicker than the other. I think the steroids got a little bit of.
Oh no, the steroid, that needle, because it's more medicine.
Yeah,
that steroid needle is big.
A little bit more medicine in there because if it still feels like there's kind of a golf ball there, little. You know what I mean?
They say you're supposed to roll on your butt.
And
did you roll on it?
I did my best.
You get it. It gets tiring after a while.
I'm putting enough pressure on it.
Yeah,
I don't need to do a whole lot of rolling.
I remember for Navy boot camp, we got the one in the butt, and where it's a bunch 80 new guys in there just rolling on our butts, like trying to get that medicine to roll around.
Did you guys
glutes
get the shots with
the
we
air
got
guns?
So
many. Yes.
Were they still using those, or is that still a thing?
No, that was 95. We still got there. They said, "Don't move."
Yeah, or it'll rip your arm and all this other kind of stuff. Yeah, you want to be an anti-vaxxer, walk through that line where everybody's like linked arms.
Dude, how many shots did we take when we first got there?
And then I was in during Desert Shield, the first time we went into Kuwait, and we had to take some more. And those are the ones that knocked you down, man. We thought we were going to deal with gas and all kinds of other stuff. So that's the kind of stuff that you don't feel good the next day.
Karl acted like he's from Jamaica. He already has on the long sleeve, zip up. Like it was cooler, Karl. Okay, don't be that guy.
This is actually something you can wear during the summer. It's very light. I would not wear this in the winter.
I've wear this already.
Oh, okay.
So this isn't, but I will say you've hit on something. And I think this is worthy of discussion. So we have the first bit of cool weather. There's something in everybody's closet that everybody's just waiting. There's a lot of women that have had their eyes on something that, it's coming. I've been so excited to wear this.
Yes.
So what do you think we're going to see the most of tomorrow?
Uggs.
Okay, we'll see Uggs. I was going to say boots. So I think Uggs falls into that.
Uggs.
Lots of
women love those things. I guess they're comfortable. I have to ask Tom Brady. Tom is sponsored by them.
And as a man, I would not recommend for the most part men wearing the Ugg boots. That doesn't look quite masculine.
Me either. See, the reason you see women break it out mostly, Rob, is because in the summer, women love these 4 words. It was on sale.
Right.
So in the summer, they bought 2 or 3 jackets. That was $20, which is it's smart shopping. But yeah, you're gonna see some women in some jackets that they bought for $20 from Forever 21. This morning, Karl, he's he broke out his Texas State long sleeve. I can't believe you're wearing that after the all-time low.
It's comfortable.
I have good news for Karl, though. Texas State did not make the bottom 25 in the NCAA's worst 25 in football.
That's because no one pays attention.
Well, Rice is number 1, so I figured Rice is the worst team in all of college football.
Yeah, one of them. What was the final score? Aggies, New Mexico.
34, 35.
Okay, so it wasn't 58.
Well, after a while, it's like
y'all call the dogs off.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it's 95 degrees or 100, 35 to nothing, 58 to nothing, it's still hot. It's still awful. Right. It's still an utter disgrace. But no, there is something to hang your hat on. That despite losing to an FCS team, they're still not in the bottom 25.
That's just because no one pays attention to Texas State.
Now, I didn't get a chance yesterday to come in and hold Karl accountable.
Yeah, I
didn't get a chance to, but any response to Aaron Rodgers' performance on Monday Night, Karl? Are you still comfortable?
It was the Lions.
Oh, okay. No, actually, I will.
No, he did say that a couple times.
I will agree with you to some extent, but the Lions, while they're awful, they have adopted the Dan Campbell, I'm going to chew your kneecaps off. They never quit.
Yeah, they fight. They're fighters.
So
you're not going to be able to play for Dan Campbell if you get caught on film loafing.
Which I'll tell you, even more respect for Aaron.
Three things. Love Dan Campbell. He is a WWE head coach in the NFL.
Absolutely, man.
That's great.
No,
that's exactly what he is.
Number 2, the Packers were able to run on the Lions all day, so he only had 67 passing yards in the first half because he was bored just handing it off the whole time because he could.
That's what happens in cover 2.
Yeah, yes. And then 3, the Lions were without 2 of their top 3 corners. So call me back when they play some other players, and they have a very brutal.
Getting benched. You went a little. I don't know how much coffee you had that day on halftime, because I remember.
Man.
I try not to bother y'all during the show, but I had to hit y'all up on that one. I was like, Karl has lost his mind.
So if it's not this first 6
He's not
weeks,
getting
he has
big,
a
Karl.
really tough middle of the pack schedule.
Aaron?
At Rodgers and the Packers
Okay.
against, I think, if Washington's any good, you'll have Washington. That could be a tough defense for him to go up against. But then I think he has the Cardinals and the Seahawks that he has to take on there in the middle of the week. And if it's not before that, it could be after that. Just depends on their record and maybe how their defense performs.
He was cursing at you.
He was.
He did.
He cursed at you, Karl. He said, people talking about my work ethic is elite.
You're now locker room material.
It's still good enough for him to look good on Jeopardy and throw an occasional, hey, that is Aaron Rodgers pass.
Did you see that he's growing his hair long for his Halloween costume?
That's dedication. And what did you say that was?
That's a girlfriend right there. You're doing what? How many adult
She
men
has their outfits picked out.
How many grown-ass men
do a year in
plan
advance?
this far in advance for a Halloween costume?
It just depends on who you're dating.
That's a girlfriend right there.
Or did they get married already?
I think they might be
They're
engaged.
Even more, further proving my point. Honey, let's go as this.
Yes. And he did it.
That's a girlfriend. That's a girlfriend for sure.
Absolutely.
And we're going to take a poll here in a little bit.
Yeah.
It's already on our Twitter.
Oh, good. We want you to hit our Twitter, SA Sports Star.
Did
a lot
you
of
tag
debate
me
over
so
the
I can retweet it?
last couple of days over the running back situation with the Dallas Cowboys. Now, certainly this is an RPP, rich people problem.
Right.
I mean, you got Zeke, you got Pollard, but you look at the money Zeke's getting and you look at the output that Pollard's giving you, and certainly there is worthy of a debate. It's kind of like what we were talking about with the linebacker situation. Jalen Smith is not terrible.
No, he's playing well.
Yeah, but does he justify the salary? Zeke certainly is not terrible, but does he justify the salary? Certainly, as we sit with Dak Prescott being the receiving the largest signing bonus in the history of the league, can they afford to keep two? And if you had to make that decision, what would you decide today? Go to our Twitter poll. We'll get to that at 7:30. But before we do, I missed it. 24 hours without the headlines. I am so far behind. Karl, catch us up. It's time for the news.
Here's the 411 in the 210.
All righty. Headline 2. Frustrated Cardinals quarterback Kyler Murray has higher expectations than 2-0. Murray emerged from the locker room after Sunday's 34-33 victory over the Vikings to meet the media. He was more subdued than usual, frustrated with the Cardinals' self-inflicted penalties, 5 for 40 yards. He was also sacked 3 times and threw 2 interceptions. His quote, "I tell you all the time, it comes down to shooting ourselves in the foot and stopping ourselves," Murray said. "We score, it feels easy, and it feels fun. And then when we turn the ball over, negative plays, it's like, damn, that blank really ugly."
Well,
but it is what it is. We have to continue to get better and continue to practice.
I like it.
Yeah.
He gets it. I like it. That's what you want from your leader. You shouldn't. That's like Nick Saban. That's Pop. Like, yeah, we got 2 wins, but there's a lot that we can clean up. And depending on who we're playing, the type of problems that we're having could come back to bite us. So I think that's the stuff you want to hear from your leader. So I'm down with it. I like it, Kyler. And remember, this kid didn't lose a game until Oklahoma?
Like his 3rd year in college.
Yeah, so he's a winner. He likes to win, and he knows that they could do something special. So he didn't want them having self-inflicted woes.
Was he someone 5-star guy?
Oh
yes.
Yeah.
He
He
was
was.
with. We had a Kyler and a Kyle.
Yeah,
and,
that's right.
And
No.
we can talk to your boy Spavital about what happened in that thing.
Oh boy,
That was a monumental cluster.
that
of
might
an
have been
Aggie situation.
that might have been Johnny Manziel having a little bit of a negative influence on the younger guys, thinking he could have some fun.
The story goes back to Spav and Sumlin, both to get the guys on campus, were both telling not only the player, but the dads, "You're our starter."
Yes.
Both of them
Oh.
believed when they walked on campus, according to what the coaches had told them, they're going to be the starter. Well, obviously things fell apart and both of them ended up elsewhere.
He could be in the running for like one of the best high school players of all time.
I think that's a legitimate. It's
Yeah.
legitimate to put Kyler in the top 5 high school football players to ever play.
Without a doubt.
in
When
the
you
state
go
of Texas.
undefeated at quarterback and the stuff, and you go back and watch, and this is 6A. You go back and watch his film in high school, it was phenomenal. And not only that, he was all world in baseball as well. Just an athlete.
South Lake. The one thing with Kyler that he has to be careful of.
What's
and
that?
we were talking about a guy that kind of paved the trail to be a guy so you could be a quarterback like Kyler, and that's RG3. Got to be real careful before your arrogance overtakes your skill. You know what I mean? Kyler is a very arrogant player. He plays arrogant, which is good. You want your quarterback to act like that, but you can't take that any further. And RG3 had trouble separating arrogance on the football field to arrogance in the locker room.
Right.
And Kyler got to walk a fine line. I'm not saying he has yet, but I can still see some of that. That you got to back up what you're saying.
Right.
Anyway, moving along.
Headline 1, Houston Texans to start rookie Davis Mills at quarterback on Thursday. Tyrod Taylor placed on the IR.
I wanted to, again, this is another situation where I don't want to bother people during their shows, but Minix had Sterner on. Clint Sterner, is that how you said?
Yeah, Clint.
And he's a big Texan guy. And my thing was, should the Texans, look into bringing in Cam? Depending on, is Tyrod's hamstring pulled or is it torn? Because if it's torn, you may want to look into bringing somebody. I don't know the full diagnosis on it.
Now, why would you bring in Cam to do what? To win football games?
To have a real quarterback.
Do you think the intent of the Houston Texans season is to win a bunch of football games?
Well, Rob, this is the question. You asked me this before the show, and I guess we'll get into it. Like, who are you looking at?
Well, there is that.
Like, who are you looking at? Like,
you are right.
What guys right now are the Texans looking at? Like, who's coming out of the draft that we're excited about outside of Thibodeau? So
it is a worthy discussion.
But you know what? You're right. I mean, hell, our biggest Texan fan on the station, Pledge, he wanted to go 0-17, and they didn't do that. They already won one game. So I didn't think about that, Rob. You're right.
Well, I'm not saying
are you gonna
that's
win?
Just my opinion on that from the outside.
But who says Cam is going to win?
Well, there's also that. You do need to at some point sell a couple of tickets.
Right.
Now, I used to drive a riverboat down on the San Antonio River, and there's a statue of St. Anthony, and part of the tour is St. Anthony, city of San Antonio, of course, named after St. Anthony, the patron saint of lost things. I think we need to give a St. Anthony medal to Tyrod Taylor. Talk about a lost career,
dude.
Man.
And he can play. He's not a bad QB at all. He's serviceable.
He's beyond that.
Yeah.
If he could have just stayed healthy in this career, think about how many times he has lost his job for one young draftee coming in, but it made it easier for young draftee to play because of the injury. Right. Going back to Cleveland and San Diego, and where was he before that? It seems like everywhere.
Was he with Baltimore for a minute? He might have been with Baltimore for a minute as well.
I feel so bad. He's like the Brandon Roy of
something always goes
wrong. That poor guy, because again, a cheat code. What we saw for a couple of weeks was ripe for awards. Comeback, whatever award you get for playing unexpectedly well.
Right.
And the dude is down again.
And he was just randomly scrambling, and boop, that hamstring popped on him.
It popped. It's not as bad as spraining both ankles. I don't know how that's humanly possible, Andy Dalton. Only a dude like me would do that.
Yeah.
That was Carson Wentz.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Carson Wentz, 2 sprained ankles. Congratulations.
He's supposed to try and practice today, though.
Dumbest damn injury I've ever heard. Moving along.
Tyrod, just for the record, Tyrod Taylor started his career 4 years in Baltimore, and then he was in Buffalo for 3 years.
Buffalo was where he got hosed as well.
Yeah, and he started 14 games, 15 games, 14 games, and was 500 for that career. And then he went to Cleveland, only started 3 games.
They
and
drafted Baker.
Yeah, Baker came in when he got injured, and then he was with the Chargers, and now this is his first year in Houston and gets replaced yet again. All right, moving on. Headline 0. Of course, we got to talk soccer.
Of course.
The MLS and Liga MX prepared to plan a revamped Leagues Cup in 2023 with all 47 teams. Major League Soccer and Liga MX announced Tuesday that starting in 2023, the 2 organizations will take part in a completely revamped Leagues Cup, one that will see every team from each league take its part. All 47 teams, 29 from the MLS and 18 from Liga MX, will pause their seasons for 1 month in order to compete in the tournament, with the format consisting of a group phase followed by a knockout stage. While many of the details are still to be worked out, it's expected that there will be significant prize money components for the players.
You know what this makes me think about? The NBA and them thinking about doing a mid-season tournament. That's what makes me think that, because I can't sit here and tell you about Liga MX or MLS, but I mean, I know, they do it overseas. They do it at UEFA. They have their little cup, their tournament. So it only makes sense for Liga and MLS because, like, you know what, maybe we can't do it alone, but we can combine them. But, Rob's been on this kick for some time now about the NBA, and I was just like, I really couldn't see it. But when you think about it, it would add some excitement to the NBA regular season because for most people, who was it? Pledge and Minix were arguing about that. Minix is like, dude, basketball for me don't start until Christmas.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I don't really care about it. So it would act, because hell, baseball could use it too. When you have 82 games or 162 games, there's not that much interest. So to me, not to go off the rails from your headline, but it makes me think about the NBA doing this soon.
It absolutely makes sense for not just the current fan to keep me interested early. But when I look at what goes on with the Champions League in Europe, which is one step below FIFA or FIBA or FIFA World Cup fervor, right?
Yeah,
the Champions League is huge. And that's essentially that, right?
Yeah.
Several leagues sending their best to compete. And for the United States to ever compete, we have to have things like this. You have to have high-level, intense games outside of the friendlies and the prep for World Cup. And while the MLS might only have a few of those guys, it will grow the fandom into seeing something else to root for, I guess, every 2 years, however often they do this, or every year. I think
it'll be good for MLS teams too.
To grow the league and to grow fandom. Anything has to help from where we are now for the U.S., at least for the men's side. Yeah. I mean, anything would help. Any kind of thing to draw another viewer, to draw another parent who's going to have a kid that might get them into soccer that might not have done that otherwise, just for something that's fun. I'm all for it because I'm tired of getting my ass beat in men's soccer. It just doesn't add up as to why we're so bad.
When is this starting?
2023.
Okay.
I guess they have something going on right now, but not next season, but the season after.
I think it's the best thing that's
I'm down for it. I'm down for it.
Onward and upward.
This is your soccer station.
Well, I've never talked more soccer.
In these 2 months, in your whole career.
I've never talked more soccer. But, it's following the trend. I would like to want to talk more soccer. I would like to have a rooting interest in what's going on in Austin. I'd like to care. And as soon as we get notable names and kind of the rising tide of successful international play, that'll help.
Yeah, I got to go to an Austin game. I want to go bad.
From what I don't know Austin very well.
Me neither. So, I don't either.
You do.
Live there.
So their stadium's up in what's called the Domain.
The Domain is
I know the Domain.
Really cool place.
Yeah, that's a good Sunday fun day. I've had Sunday fun day in Domain, and we had a blast.
So it's kind of like this self-contained new downtown urban center.
You can pregame and after party at the Domain. Like you pregame, go to the game, then go back to the Domain.
Pretty much. That's the Saturday or whatever day the soccer match is on. You can spend your morning there, have a little brunch, go see the supporters, and it's a packed stadium. I think they sold out season tickets in like 30 minutes. And then the wait list like doubled the capacity. And
are they the Green Bay Packers? Is there going to be a couple year waiting list to get to an Austin FC game?
You can get tickets.
I'm talking about season tickets.
Oh, to get season tickets? Yeah, it's gonna be where somebody drops it, and there might be you have to inherit it kind of thing. Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, we'll see.
I know, right?
You got to have to win some games. Yeah,
the novelty might die out, but this is Austin's first professional team because the Longhorns kind of screwed over every professional team before them.
I was going to say, Austin has a professional team. It is the Longhorns, but you're right. They're not going to let anything else in there.
You mean Austin they bully teams and coming in there and saying, get out?
Like the Austin Wranglers were the Arena Football League team, and they needed to use the Irwin Center or wanted to use the Irwin Center, probably a combination of the two. And basically the Longhorns said, sure, but we're going to take parking. We'll take concessions. We're going to charge you to use it. So, basically they had to make all their money off ticket sales. Deion Sanders actually owned that team. Didn't end up too well. The entire Arena Football League went under. The Austin
that's called
Spurs.
corporate bullying.
Well, it is. That's what I was going to
Mhm.
say. The Longhorns have locked up sponsorship dollars. They're not going to share. The Spurs have locked up sponsorship dollars in San Antonio. They ain't going to share. I mean, they're not going to just gladly go, you know what, for the betterment of the city, HEB,
Nice
cut in
choice.
half what you're giving us and take that other half and give it. No, they're
Give it
going
to the MLS
restrict everything and everybody unless they're under that umbrella that is SS&E. That's what happens in the business world. So Longhorns stranglehold, absolutely they have, just like the Spurs have here. I mean, they are not going to allow anybody to come in without some sort of guarantee by the current sponsor. You ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, the Irwin Center was too big for the Austin Toros when they first got to Austin, and now they've really found a home at the Cedar Park Center. Well, it's the HEB Center at Cedar Park up there far north, and that's also where the Texas Stars, the hockey team, plays, and they draw really well, the Texas Stars. Austin Spurs draw pretty well, but they're all moving to the kind of northern suburbs if you're going to be a professional team, because Austin just owns the Longhorns just own downtown.
Yeah, and a natural growth. They're not going to grow this direction because you go south. San Marcos types can get to a Spurs game and back without too much headache.
Great point.
So they kind of own it from there.
I think it was smart to change the name to Austin Spurs.
Absolutely,
like it kind of feels like yours. You know what I mean? Now you're like, okay, that's mine. I'll go support that. You know what I mean?
And
Does that make sense?
The Toros, while being a cool name, the Spurs were necessary. They needed to rename it as the Spurs.
They didn't own the Toros until like 2011, and then 1 year later, after making them the Austin Toros but silver and black, they eventually was like, let's just make them the Austin Spurs. But the LA team used to be the LA Defenders when it was the D League, but then they changed to the South Bay Lakers when it became the G League. So now you're starting to see that and all those kind of affiliate names.
It was up until last year, 2 years ago, that one of those LA teams didn't even have a G League team. Was it the Clips?
Yeah, they're now the Agua Caliente Clippers of Ontario, which is not Ontario, Canada. It's Ontario, LA.
Inland Empire is what they are.
I know. Good Lord, I'm lost. That was a long ass name.
Yeah. Well, now the Mexico City team, I believe, I'll have to call them the Ciudad de Mexico Capitanes.
Okay.
I will learn it.
Yes. Good job, Karl.
The Capitanes.
I forgot we got a Mexico City G League team.
And they're going to be playing all their home games in Texas during this year.
Smart.
Coming back, the Cowboys offered us a running game. We saw what the Cowboys can do when they decide to ground and pound. In fact, I saw yesterday that Zach Martin was the highest graded NFL player of the week.
From Pro Football Focus?
From Pro Football
Focus.
That means
that's true then. It's
ground and pound. Who should be grinding and pounding? Zeke and Pollard shared some carries. Zeke got more snaps, but Pollard had more yards. Somebody's got quite a large paycheck as well. Check our poll. Go to SA Sports Stars Twitter poll. Get your vote, and we want your reaction. If you had to choose, and salary does matter, who should be the Dallas Cowboys starting running back? Is Thunder and Lightning enough, or should they find one and ride that dog all the way to the Super Bowl? Got a lot to talk about. Hang with us. It is R&R in the Morning, and you're on San Antonio Sports Star, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Come and drink it vodka. I'm telling y'all, UTSA Tailgate is the new vodka up there at Texas Cheer Liquor. Come and drink it. Such a genius name. I tell you, it should be the new vodka for UTSA tailgates, and they do have it out at Texas Cheer Liquor. Go to TexasCheerLiquor.com. Download the Texas Cheer Liquor app. They're getting a lot of new stuff in. Of course, they got the world now nationwide famous Yingling. Karl isn't really the hugest fan of the Yingling. He's decided to donate his Yingling to Rob. So they have that out at Texas Cheer Liquor. They even have the Yingling keg. You know, if you got a little party coming up or something, or the Canelo fight in November, which we're going to talk about that. Hit up Texas Cheer Liquor. They have 4 locations, 2 on Petrenko, one across from Walmart, and then one past 211, one at Highway 90 in Montgomery, and also one in Palo Alto in the Patron Plaza next to Walmart. You can't miss it. Go to TexasCheerLiquor.com, see what they got, see what you like. Go check them out. Beer, liquor, wine, and of course, cigars. If they didn't have cigars, I don't know if I'd endorse them. I'm kidding, AD. I would, but maybe not. Who knows? Texas Cheer Liquor, official sponsor of R&R in the Morning.
Sports Center is brought to you by Kielbasa Slow Crafted Sausage, available at your local grocery stores.
Texas Rangers fell to the New York Yankees 7-1. Rangers first baseman Andy Ibanez was the only Texas player to register more than one hit on the ballgame as he went 3 of 4 from the plate. For New York, Jordan Montgomery got the start on the mound and the win, limiting Texas to 1 run on 4 hits in his 5 2/3 innings pitched. Texas falls behind in the series 2-0, and they play the final game of the series tonight, trying to avoid the sweep with a 6:05 first pitch. The Houston Astros took care of the LA Angels 10-5 on the West Coast. Jose Urquidy got the start and the run support to get the win on the mound for Houston, thanks in part to 2 runs scored by both Jose Altuve and Yuri Gurriel. Those are your baseball headlines. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Karl Schoening.
According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, more than 5,000 people died in workplace accidents in 2019 alone. Thomas J. Henry handles serious workplace accident cases and gets serious results for injured clients. Visit tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Joel, lots of college teams have school traditions like gig 'em or hook 'em and wreck 'em. It's good fun. Good fun indeed.
Nigel, why are you holding a snare drum?
I'm glad you asked, Joel. To get the word out about Quarter Moon Plumbing, AC and Heating, I suggest we institute the following Quarter Moon Yell.
Nigel, you're loud enough, and I don't think a yell would...
Plum 'em!
Plum 'em?
It's perfect. We've got a whole team of fully stocked trucks, and our customers are the best in Texas. I say Quarter Moon, you say Plum 'em. Quarter Moon! You broke my sticks.
Folks, at Quarter Moon, we have a spirited tradition of solving every home problem imaginable, from plumbing to air conditioning to heating. We take pride in fixing those everyday plumbing and AC inconveniences. Call Quarter Moon Plumbing, AC, and Heating day or night, and we'll fix them. See what I did there, Nigel?
Joel, I think you better leave it to the experts.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 210-651-5899. License number M13229, DACLA 000743445E.
Jason Minix here for Alamo Water Softeners. Whether your home is a new build or an older home, Alamo Water Softeners has a water treatment bundle with special pricing to give your home the highest quality water treatment available. Choose from several bundles, including the Premier Whole Home Bundle. Get a free standard gas or electric water heater when you purchase a select top-of-the-line water softener, plus 1 filter and reverse osmosis system. Go to AlamoWaterSofteners.com. That's AlamoWaterSofteners.com.
Dog Pound Championship Wrestling proudly presents Strictly Business, live this Saturday at the historic Woodlawn Gym. Don't miss Max Castellanos, Andre Law, and former WWE superstar Rodney Mack versus Frank Stone and current Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champions, Soldiers of Savagery, and then the open contract Battle Royale. You can also meet former WWE Women's Champion and wrestling legend Jazz. GA tickets just $10 at the door, with $20 VIP tickets also available. Dog Pound Championship Wrestling Strictly Business, live this Saturday at the historic Woodlawn Gym.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Owning a business comes with pressure. There's a limit to what I can do and still keep employees engaged. Fortunately, there's Insperity. They put 30-plus years of HR experience to work to help me with hiring, training, HR administration, and compliance, while giving my employees competitive benefit options. And because I'm able to focus on other priorities, my employees can thrive and my business can grow. With Insperity, nothing seems impossible. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
It's been a great start to the NFL season, and it's only getting better at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. DraftKings is putting new customers in the center of the action with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. Get in on the action now. It's simple. Just pick your lineup, stay under the salary cap, and see how your team stacks up against the competition. Feel the NFL action like never before with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. And the best part is you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings app now and use code KJZ. This week, new customers can get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. Enter code KJZ to get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with your first deposit. That's code KJZ. Only at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
A double shot of energy in the AM. Rob Thompson, Rudy J. R&R in the morning on San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Good morning to you. It's R&R in the morning. Hump day.
Damn, it is already Wednesday.
When you miss a day, it's like a brand new Monday.
Amen.
He's Rudy J. I'm Rob Thompson. Karl Schoenig on the other side of the double pane glass. Rudy in for just 2 hours.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
Going to head into the training room this afternoon.
Yeah, man. I'm not going under the knife. I'm going under the laser this morning. So
I'm not sure if that sounds better or not.
I know. I know, right?
I want to be under the laser or the knife.
I don't know if I want a blade on my eye, though.
You're going to have it.
Yeah.
So what are you going in for?
Z LASIK surgery today, Dr. Manrique.
What was the issue that you're having fixed?
So I'm getting this. Dr. Manrique does some new blending thing to where I'm not gonna have to, because like right now, like I have on clear contacts. Like when I look at the phone, I have to hold it back. So now I won't have to do that.
So
like I'm nearsighted.
Will you get one in one eye one way and one eye the other way?
Yeah. So
good for you, man.
Yeah, man. I've been wearing glasses / contacts since about 8th grade. I want to say my mom's on here. She could tell you like 8th grade. So different.
Do you wear the kind that you leave in for a while or do you change them out every day?
I don't change them out every day.
Every day?
No, it's like a week.
Really?
Yeah.
So is that the longest I don't wear contacts and nobody in my house does. So
no, I've worn them longer than that.
So you can. How do you know when the contacts need to come out?
I don't know. They get like foggy, I guess. Where you could just tell it's time. They feel a little dry, feel a little weird. I probably leave them in. I probably keep them longer than I should because.
So you sleep
quite frankly, they're expensive. Do I sleep in them?
Yeah.
No. So no, I take them out at night.
Every night. So I'm not.
But I don't have
the leave-in.
Oh no, I don't have those. No,
but there are things that you can leave in for days at a time.
Yeah, some people do, and then there's some people that sleep in them and they wake up and can't see. So
yeah, that's why.
I have to take them out. Yeah, I got to go to Dr. Manrique. Just say, you know what, I'm done with contacts for now.
And I've not done it. Minix has. My brother has. Everybody remarks on how quick it is. Like you get in there and then all bam, bam, done. Like,
they tell me it's going to take a few seconds per eye.
Yeah, they're like, I'm over. It's done.
So this doctor,
are you going to get the giant sunglasses? I hope they give you
I hope they give them
Terminator
to me.
glasses.
I do. Somebody's from Dr. Manrique is supposed to roll film, give it to me, and I'll be able to get content for our website.
I'm not sure I'm down for watching some laser hit your eye, but I'm.
You know, to see this
I'm in for the before and after.
But education still pays, Rob. I mean, this guy, Dr. Manrique, I don't know how much money he's getting paid, but he's getting paid quite a bit of money for a few seconds per eye. Going to school still pays people.
And he's the trainer for
he trains
the docs.
People.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna be out of here at 9 today, but I'll be back tomorrow.
And Doc Manrique, that dude runs hot, man. The guy, he moves. The guy never stops. I appreciate people like that.
60,001 surgeries. Because I say over 60,000. I guess I'll be 60,001.
Had a little practice.
And if you go in there, everybody that's somebody is their pictures up there. Athletes. So it seems like he's done every spur. I'm like, damn.
Some I'd like to see him do, maybe go back and tighten some stuff up.
Yeah.
Didn't he do Danny Green? He did. Danny could suddenly see, and that didn't help. he was used to shooting at the
that ain't right,
at
Rob.
fuzzy orange. Yeah. Suddenly he could see the rim, and that didn't help.
That ain't right, Rob. But you might be kind of right. Where is he this year? Did he re-sign with Philly?
Oh yeah, he's going to be the number one defensive player. Danny's going to have to defend the best guard or forward on that team every night without Ben.
His defense has gone backwards.
Well, I mean,
for a while he was a really good defender.
He's savvy enough to defend within 10 feet, but after about 10 feet, he just doesn't have it. And you get old; it just kind of happens. But for
I was a Danny fan even during the Club Rio days. I was Team Danny.
We all love Danny. And how he manufactured that jump shot into a consistent one, I'll never know.
He goes by the name of Chip England. And then repetition. Like Chip can teach you what you want. You still got to go put in the work.
See, the problem, Danny was always accurate, but he had zero touch.
Yeah.
It had to be dialed in. There was not ever, Danny has never gotten a friendly bounce in his life.
No. His bricks are bricks.
Yeah. There's accurate shooters, but there's touch shooters. And touch shooters tend to become scorers, while Danny was always just a shooter.
Danny trends like every night, whether he does good or bad. He is somebody who just goes off on Twitter, or Twitter goes off on him, I should say, pretty much every evening. And people who don't follow basketball are like, why is this guy always trending?
Because it's hot or cold, man. You just hope you grab the right knob to start the show.
Hey, man.
Now, we heard Jerry talk yesterday on 105.3.
Yeah, let's talk about
it. And I do think this is worthy of conversation, though I think we should come at this with the attitude that this is, it's a rich people problem. This is a good thing.
It's a good thing. Yeah, we don't have to act like this is like doomsday. This is a great thing.
Yeah, and it's not going to separate the locker room because we got two guys that are good at it. But the fact remains that every time we get a chance to see Tony Pollard, he impresses.
Yes.
And Zeke doesn't consistently impress, though I do think Zeke has a different job.
Zeke is a chain mover. Zeke is the chain mover. Zeke is the grinder. Zeke is the gold down and goal to go. Zeke is the reason Tony Pollard is having success.
Thank you.
Good Lord, people.
Thank you.
Gosh, like it's the change of pace is the reason why. And Zach Martin's back. And a lot of running backs going to look good running behind that big old refrigerator of a butt. But and this isn't me knocking if I was voting on the Twitter poll, I'd be voting Zeke. It's still Zeke's job. What was the question that you asked?
So I kept it subjective.
What did you say?
Which Dallas Cowboys running back would you rather have?
Zeke.
Right?
If that's okay, let's keep it with the question. Which running back would I rather have? It's Zeke all day long because, again, over 17 games, little lightning bug Tony Pollard is going to get his butt beat. Like he has a job to come in there, change the pace. He's running through holes the size of 410. You know, like you go and look at the holes that were created. And keep in mind, like this conversation really heated up after the Charger game. I'm not saying this wasn't the but this is when it started trending on Twitter in Cowboy Nation. Go back and look at the holes that was created, and then keep in mind who it's against. The Chargers gave up a buttload of yards to Washington in week 1 as well. Every running back is going to look good against the Chargers, okay? Let's keep that in mind. But number 2, we got to think about over 17 games if we're going to ask that question. And the answer is Zeke, because there's going to be some weeks like Tampa where it's like, oh, this is rough. And you're going to need a guy with a little bit of weight, a little bit of size, and a little bit of be able to fall forward. Tony Pollard is serviceable. I like him. I like him a lot, but he is successful because teams prepare for Zeke. Nobody in the Philadelphia film room this week is saying, hey, man, what are we going to do about Tony Pollard?
Oh, they are. They are, but now only because he's had 2 games.
Yeah.
And
but you're still like, it's still about Zeke.
So far, we have 40 votes, and the poll will close before the end of the show so we can have a definitive answer on what the poll will be. Tony Pollard is leading with 40 votes in. Now, 57-43.
I do think it's worthy of discussion.
It is worthy of discussion.
I don't think anybody would argue that Zeke, if you checked off and gave a dollar value to the entire skill set or a point value and the entire skill set of what Tony Pollard can do, I think Zeke on the whole is a better all-around running back. But we also have to consider the fact that not only are they both good backs, which back fits the system? And we got to think of what Kellen Moore does. I'm not sure that Tony Pollard is not a better back for this system, while Zeke might be a better back overall. I think if Kellen Moore can call the offense the way that he truly sees it in his dreams, when he sees his offense working perfectly, they only run the ball maybe 20 times in the game. I think Kellen Moore's DNA comes back from his Idaho State Boise State days, where they were under-talented and had to use speed and space more than grit and power to win football games. So I think Kellen Moore is more about let's find guys and put them in space. We can see the way that they've drafted. We've seen the guys that they've chased, and it's about guys in space that can make moves. Yak, yard after contact, yard after catch. So I think Zeke's better, but there can be an argument to be made that maybe Tony Pollard would function better in this offense when it's working at its best.
Interesting. Very interesting, Rob. The other thing I would go for Zeke is I'd rather have Zeke picking up blitzes as well. When them big burly linebackers are bearing down on Dak, who do I want? Do I want Tony Pollard, little guy, or do I want Zeke, who's shown over the years that that's one thing we can never, fault Zeke for, is picking up the blitz and making sure he gets his chip, or he makes sure Dak has that little extra second to get the pass off. So again, I'm enjoying Tony Pollard. He looks good, but everybody looks good against the Chargers. But I'm still, if I'm going just strictly off what Karl has on the Twitter poll, who would I rather have? I'm still going with Zeke. But you made a strong case with the system take.
Now,
strong take, Rob.
One thing we do have to add into this that certainly would go into the decision making of a general manager is pay. I mean, you look at there is a
but there's nothing we can do. The contract's already signed. They're on the hook for that.
No, you're right. And this is not a question that could be answered this year.
Right.
But just earlier in the season, they redid his deal to where Zeke's making over 10, right?
Zeke's making great money. Zeke's one of the top paid running backs in the league. Him, Kamara, and maybe I forget. There's one other guy.
Okay, so we'll without doing the math, it looks like he's up about $12 million a year,
somewhere around there. Yeah.
Pollard is going to earn $850,000 this year.
But can Pollard, like, if again, who would I rather have? Can Pollard take a 17-game beating? I don't know.
No,
I don't know if he can take a 17-game beating.
No, he can't. Thus far, he has shown that he can't. He has had some of those kind of nagging injuries that comes from repeated contact. And I don't think we've seen the full Zeke package yet.
Zeke looked good against the Chargers.
Yes,
he had some really nice grind yards. His stuff was between the tackles. You said it was that Monday. Pollard stuff is to really bounce it out wide and get going, hit home runs.
And
two different styles.
And we did see dividends from using Zeke the way that they did in the fourth quarter. I think McCarthy sees not only the fourth quarter of the games, but sees the fourth quarter of the season. That the wear and tear that Zeke just inflicts on that front seven will pay dividends in the fourth quarter, but also in week 18 of the season, if it is absolutely necessary, those old and worn out defensive teams that are just beat up for the long season, you got a healthier and more rested Zeke because of Pollard. The plan seems to be exactly what we have seen until something changes, though. I do think when the season is done, when the Cowboys have to start doing what I believe successful teams have to do every year, and I think the Cowboys will be there, start holding on to their property because everybody's coming for you, because I do think the Cowboys, as they sit right now, are far better than anybody, at least nationally, expected. And guys that are free agents now that they might want to sign, suddenly the dollar values are going up, as always, when a team suddenly gets better.
And just go look at the numbers when Zeke gets a good amount of carries. They're a better football team. They're a better football team when he gets 20-something carries or when he goes over 100 yards. Just go look at the numbers. I love Pollard. I love what he's doing. He's a change of pace, but a lot of his success comes from the fact that you've prepared for Zeke, and then all of a sudden this little lightning bolt comes out of nowhere and gets 7 to 10 yards on you. Now, if it's just solely Tony Pollard, I think y'all will change your tune.
I think Jerry would be amenable to a change. It sounds like, what did he say? All that matters is first downs, baby.
Move the chains, baby.
Move the chains. And both
and 850,000 sounds a lot better.
Man, you making what times more? 12 times more money? When we come back, injuries, boy, this weekend, I think we'll look back on how it will change the NFL season. And RG3 stands ready. We'll talk some more NFL coming back. You're on R&R in the morning, and this is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
My man Karl's been thinking about getting that car sold. He wants to get that car off his hands, and he's been looking at Car Zeus. I think I'm bringing him around. But we'll see. We'll see what happens, right, Karl? And if you are thinking about selling your car, don't go down to the dealership and waste 4 hours. Check out my buddies over at CarZeus, and that's carzeus.com. It's not a dealership. You drive up, somebody comes out, looks at the car, takes a look at it. Okay, looks good, that looks good, that looks good. It's still running. Here's our offer. And at that point, you with your spouse or your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your cousin, your aunt, and you say, hey, you know what, this is a pretty good offer. You know what, I think we'll do that. And guess what happens right then? They take you inside, fill out some paperwork, boom, print you out a check. Yes, right then and there on the spot, same day. And they'll even give you a Lyft ride home. Go to carzeus.com, fill out the form. An agent will text you an offer during business hours. And at that point, there's no obligation. Then you discuss it with whoever you want to discuss it with. Maybe it's just with yourself. And you say, okay, well, you know what? Let me think about it. No problem. But you only have 500 miles before that deal may change, or 5 days. It may change. It may stay the same. Who knows? But that's just, there for you to know. So pay the same day, give you a Lyft ride home. Go to carzeus.com. Check out some of the reviews. See how people are feeling about it. If you don't believe me, that's CarZeus, carzeus.com.
They played 162 games for a shot at this, the MLB postseason, where you're just one pitch, one hit closer to the World Championship. We've got you covered on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM. When it comes to replacing your home windows, nobody does it better in San Antonio than the Window Source. If you're still living with old, drafty, single-pane windows, those have got to go. Upgrade to new, Texas-made, Texas-proud, energy-efficient windows. The Window Source of San Antonio offers some of the best deals around, and all come with the assurance of a full lifetime warranty. Call 210-880-3021 to book your free estimate or visit them online to learn more. WindowSourceofSA.com. Let them old windows go.
If you think the COVID vaccine alone will protect you from the coronavirus, think again. As the deadly disease breaks through to people who are vaccinated, it's critical to take a reliable temperature reading with the Exergen Temporal Scanner. It's the only thermometer whose accuracy has been proven in more than 100 clinical studies. Vaccines are not enough, and thermometer accuracy matters. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Exergen is changing the way the world takes temperature.
At Allstate, we've been saying you're in good hands for a long time. But what exactly does that mean? Does it mean you're protected from life's uncertainties? Does it mean you can worry less and live a little more? Does it mean you're not alone, even when things get kind of hard? Actually, yes. Yes, it does. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Allstate and affiliates offer products and services subject to availability, terms, and conditions.
Don't let pain keep you from doing the things you love. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. Whether you've been living with chronic and nagging pain for years, or if you've recently experienced an injury, our goal is to get you out of pain as quickly as possible. Arasti is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, Arasti accepts most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Hi everyone, Michael Kielbasa with Kielbasa Smoked Meats here. When you bring a package of our smoked sausage home, keep it simple. It's handcrafted in small batches and fully cooked, so you can just heat it up and enjoy. My favorite way to eat it is on a bun with mustard or wrapped in a tortilla. Try some from a store near you today, and if it's not the best you've ever tasted, I'll give you your money back. Guaranteed. Find Kielbasa at a store near you today.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
The Dallas Cowboys, the Philadelphia Eagles. Two bitter rivals, one big night. Get the action live Monday starting at 7:15. Sponsored by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota. San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
This is Karl Schoening, and you're listening to San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
R&R in the morning. He's Rudy J. I'm Rob Thompson. If you did any grilling last week, over the weekend, you might want to upload your photo. Go to sasportstar.com. You'll see Grilling with Blitz. You can upload a picture right there. Jason Minix will choose the picture of the best looking meat he's seen all week. And Jason's looked at a lot of meat.
Yes, dude is an addict. Y'all both are, though.
$50 gift card every Thursday, about 6 o'clock. Upload those pictures of your meat. RG3 continues to impress with his belief in himself. How long has it been since RG3 was a productive quarterback in the NFL? 4 years? 5 years?
No, longer than that.
6 years?
Yeah, somewhere around.
Been a while.
He was a backup for Lamar Jackson for 2 or 3 years.
And, filled in adequately, and certainly probably still possesses a skill set that is worthy of a backup quarterback in the NFL. I'm not going to say,
sure.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that he's washed up.
No, he can't be. Not with some of the backups we have.
But it has been a while, Robert. You got a brand new gig. You got a TV announcing gig.
Does he?
Yeah, he just got a brand new. He's an ESPN, ESPN or Fox analyst. I haven't seen him, but I know that I saw that he had signed on with he's with ESPN.
Okay.
But he's he spent his formative years, his beginning years in the NFL with the Washington football team. And probably because of his rookie year, the ankle injury and all that happened in the playoff run never was the same. Sadly, a little bit of a Grant Hill situation there.
Right.
So I think he feels like his career is unfinished. But to come out and say that you're available to go back to Washington if they desperately need you.
I don't blame him. It's some terrible backups in this league.
Yeah.
Like disgusting. Like Eli Manning could come play backup right now. Peyton could come play backup right now. The backup QB position is awful. So I feel Robert on that. Now, if his number gets called, I don't know how that turns out. But to sit there, hold a clipboard, yeah, man, this is what they do on this is what they're doing on that. He could do that. Backup. I stress the backup.
Jimmy Johnson was the one that first heard say it years ago. Make them rip the jersey off you. Because once it's over, it's over.
That's what I'm a fan of that too. Like people are like, why don't this guy retire? Dude, let him get like Pau Gasol.
Go get paid.
Like go until you just can't go anymore.
Or you just don't need to.
Or you don't need to, or you feel like not getting up.
Right. Either physically or financially, you don't need to or can't. And RG3 is only 31. But come on.
Really?
He's only 31. He's not that old.
No way. I thought he was older than that.
No.
He just got hit with too many injuries early.
Yeah. And I appreciate
RG3's 31.
We love him. We love you. But go do your job.
Hey, man, let that man get it.
Because there's the perception like, dude, you're always there, man. You're always the first one at the door. You're the dude that calls the ex-girlfriend first after the breakup. You're always there, man.
I don't know if I want to have a beer with them, but I don't have a problem with him wanting to be a backup. He seems a little surly.
Oh, he's surly.
Never met him. I know you have. I've never met him, but he seems a little like, he would hit you with the, who are you? No, I'm not signing that. Get away from me. But I don't have a problem with him wanting to be a backup at all.
When we get back, we're certainly going to talk Ben Simmons. The rumors are getting hot. Sean Marks, the general manager for the Brooklyn Nets, he might have a problem with a couple of his players even able to walk into the stadium wherein they play because they might not be vaxxed in time to start the season.
Wow.
That's going to get ugly. Lots of NBA and NFL talk around the corner on the 8 o'clock, so hang where you are. It's R&R in the morning, and this is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. I talk about it all the time. We just did about Tri-County Meat Market. It goes without saying that a great meal starts with great meat, and you want to find it. It's at Tri-County Meat Market. They're the finest meat purveyors in all of San Antonio. I'm a weekly customer because Well, first, they're locally owned, and it's the full-service part that I certainly enjoy. They carefully selected certified prime Angus beef cuts, Wagyu, and upper choice. You want fork to table? Floresville, they're coming out with some beautiful locally sourced Wagyu. You're not going to find better-looking beef. Dean and Peeler, it's forking good for sure. Tri-County has everything else you need to up your grilling game. You're looking for the preseason, pre-prepared meats like their fajitas, both beef and chicken. Boy, you're not going to find better seasoned and more tender meat than that. All the prepared foods, the stuffed chicken breast, the Texas toothpicks, the poppers, all made on premises and all absolutely perfect. Try some of their sausage as well. They make it right there. If you're looking for the rubs, you're looking for your 5 for $25, of course, Tri-County always has it. When you walk in unsure, you can be influenced, you can be talked to, and you can learn about the meat you're about to cook from experts, those guys that are actually cutting the meat. When you walk in as a first responder, you know you're getting 10% off of those already great prices. Police, firemen, EMT, and of course, for our military. 2 locations to go to. Huebner Road, out on Ralph Fair. You want to find locations and all the info, go check out TriCountyMeat.com. Head over to Tri-County today. Fill up your cupboard with 5 for $25. Put that meat on the grill and win yourself a $50 gift card from Tri-County every Thursday with Jason Grilling with the Blitz. Tri-County Meat Market. Go there today, and I'm sure you'll thank me later.
The Blitz, sports talk, and everything else.
Dak Prescott talked about his fear of mascots. I'm not a mascot guy. Rowdy, the Cowboys mascot, might be the creepiest thing on earth.
Terrifying.
Some are just creepy and kind of scary, and others are just creepy in a child predator kind of way, and that's the category that Rowdy falls into. The Cowboys cannot drive Rowdy in a white van.
Jason Minix, weekday afternoons 4 to 7 on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
According to TxDOT, on average, one motorcyclist dies every day on Texas roads. If you or a loved one were injured in a motorcycle crash, call Thomas J. Henry. To learn more or start your claim today, visit tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Good morning, everybody. Let's have a seat and let's get started with our morning meeting.
Joel, give me a moment to share a brilliant idea with the staff.
Fine, go ahead. Don't say I didn't warn you.
In honor of your American football season, I've come up with a plan for all Quarter Moon employees to wear these Quarter Moon football jerseys and Quarter Moon caps, handing out Quarter Moon mini footballs, and that we carry in these Quarter Moon fanny packs.
Nigel, you better run now. In Texas, football is serious, and at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and Air Conditioning, we are serious about fixing those everyday plumbing, AC, and heating issues. So it's in the middle of a game or in the middle of something important with a family or friends, you won't have to wait long to have your problem solved. See our Quarter Moon trucks with the Outhouse logo all over town.
Joel, could you give me a hand? The boys have hooked me up to the ceiling fan by my fanny pack.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Air Conditioning, and Heating, 651-5899.
License number M13229 TACLA 000743455E.
New surveys show that Americans don't think vaccines are enough to protect themselves and others from COVID-19. 80% want thermometers used in public places to screen for COVID-19. 36% know that non-contact devices are inaccurate, and 60% would not recommend that friends or family members enter places that screen with them. To be safe, use Exergen at home, at work, and in public. It's the only thermometer proven accurate by more than 100 published clinical studies. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Dell's semi-annual sale is the perfect opportunity for a significant business upgrade. Save up to 45% on Dell computers built for business with Windows 10 Pro. Plus, enjoy special pricing on Dell docks, monitors, servers, and more, all with easy financing options through Dell Financial Services. Succeed anywhere with Windows 10 Pro. Speak to a Dell Technologies advisor today to find the right tech for your business with fast, free shipping. Call 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Hey, this is Kirk Herbstreit, and this season, with the help from our friends from the College Football Playoff in Eckridge, we're going to crown the first ever National Tailgate Champion.
I haven't washed my lucky apron since the big game in '96.
Oh, yeah? My tailgate hot sauce hits harder than a linebacker.
Well, honey, you haven't lived till you've had my Eckridge smoked sausage cheese dip.
Now I'm fired up. Are you the National Tailgate Champion? Eckridge, you do you.
Eckridge is an official sponsor of the College Football Playoff. No purchase necessary. Hence 12/13/21. To enter and for official rules, visit Eckridge.com/tailgate.
Are you finally ready to sell that motorcycle or ATV that is just collecting dust in your garage? Harley, Honda, Polaris, Yamaha, or anything like it. RumbleOn.com will pay you cash today, and in minutes, you have a real cash offer. We will pay you cash before we pick it up. No more strangers coming to your house from a listing site. Use promo code RADIO for an extra $300 on your cash offer. Get your cash offer today. RumbleOn.com. Fast bikes, faster cash.
30 for 30 podcasts and The Undefeated present The King of Crenshaw, a 4-part podcast series that focuses on how the late Nipsey Hussle's life, death, and legacy deeply impacted the sports world. Listen to 30 for 30 podcasts brought to you by Full Sail University, offering accelerated bachelor's and master's programs in music, film, sports, media, technology, and much more. Get your degree online or on campus. Learn more at fullsail.edu/30. That's fullsail.edu/30.
At CDW, we get how to achieve calm amidst the chaos of a hybrid workforce.
Before I check our security updates, I unwind in my desk massage chair.
So I hear. But with Google Chrome OS orchestrated by CDW, you get built-in security with no reported ransomware attacks ever and simplified management so you can stay relaxed.
Sounds good, but I'm keeping the chair.
For proactive security, trust Chrome OS and IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Find out more at cdw.com/Chrome OS.
Live, local, loud. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Rob Thompson, Rudy J. R&R in the morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It is R&R in the morning. I hope you're enjoying this weather. Looks like we're going to have a nice little run of cool mornings for the next several.
I think it's only supposed to be 84 today. I can do 84 for a Texan is heaven.
And low
like
humidity.
I'm good with that.
I understand the humidity's down deep. You can feel it this morning. It's almost here.
Rob, I need an update
on
the diamond earring.
Oh, we got it fixed.
No,
we got it fixed.
They found it.
They got it.
Are you serious?
My boys at Service First. They live by what I say.
They found that ring in the.
They got it done, and it took them like 3 minutes. Now, plumbers, man, they earn every penny they get.
Oh yeah, that's not an they make some good hourly money, but it ain't no easy job.
No, it's not. And there's an occupational hazard that you don't really take into consideration when you go into you start dealing with pipes and water.
Yeah.
You know, my wife, for those of you who were unaware, over the weekend was taking off an earring and it fell off wherever she was, and that we were having trouble with the little plugger in the bottom of her sink.
Right.
So it was up too far and the earring went down into the bathroom.
You could hear it bouncing.
Oh, yeah. You could hear it and then plunk. So we heard it get down into, that little U-shaped catch at the bottom. So I was the guys from Service First showed up, and then, no problem, man. And above and beyond, and I'm a paid endorser, but this is the truth. They take it apart and said, this is a piece of crap. This thing that I had, we're going to change it out. They fixed it.
Really?
Yeah, they changed some of the pipes just because what I had was owned and worn out. And he was like, no, we can't, in good faith, put this back on. But when I was in there helping them, they got that U thing out, and you don't really realize what's cooking.
It's a lot of hair, mostly hair. Mostly hair.
What came out of that probably was in a scene from Malignant. I don't know what it was taking on a new form. It was somewhere between
toothpaste, spit, and hair,
and it was starting to grow eyes and have thought. I mean, that thing was just about to come alive. But the odor, the smell.
The bathroom sink?
It doesn't come out of our sink, but what came out of
what you mean.
That pipe? Yikes! And he got it on. He was like, "Can I go ahead and?" Because you couldn't use that one. And he was like, can I go ahead and use your hose? I don't want to wash this off in your kitchen sink. I'm going to go outside. But I was like, yeah, occupational hazard. He was like, well, at least this was just sink water. I went, oh, you guys don't get paid enough.
No.
My daddy always said, never trust a plumber that shows up to your house wearing rubber boots.
I get that.
My boys over at Service First did not. They yeah, no problem. In fact, that was the first thing they did. Now he looked down and they have a little snake thing, and he's like, nah, we're going to go ahead and what you got. So thanks to Service First, boys. No insurance claims here. Earrings are being worn. We're gonna get you caught up on your headline.
That must have been a real diamond. You don't call the plumber unless that thing is real.
I'm like, baby. Unless I'm afraid if we only have one of our sons might steal it.
Yeah.
But I don't see you. Do you have your ear pierced?
No.
You never pierced your ear?
Yeah, back in the day.
Back in the day.
I let them close since. But yeah, I had my ears pierced a couple times.
You? Yeah.
Of course.
And when I, walked out the first time, my dad looked over and said, "Just don't be raiding your mama's jewelry box."
Karl, ears pierced ever?
Nah, never.
I had a lightning bolt. I was so cool.
You think you Lawrence Taylor?
I know this was back in the
you
early
think you were
80s.
Lawrence
It
Taylor?
didn't dangle. It was just a lightning
just a
bolt
bolt.
on my ear. I thought, man, that's cool.
Yeah, I didn't never have the hoops. I always had studs.
I went with a hoop later on.
Mm-hmm.
Remember
Michael Jordan did the one hoop. Remember, it used to just be the left ear.
That was going to say. Remember, you weren't just sure. You had to have it in the left ear, but you because the left ear meant one thing and right ear meant another. I don't think that's still a thing anymore.
No, not at all. We're
I got mine re-pierced. I don't know if it's something in the
earring,
Florida
gender
water.
Fluid. What's up?
I don't know if it's something in the Florida water. I don't know what it is about living in that state. But I hadn't had an earring in, I don't know, for 30 years. And I got to Florida and I decided one day, I'm going to go get it pierced.
What was it, the vodka?
I don't know what it is. I think it's just living in Florida. There's something going on.
Yeah.
It's walking in sand. I don't know what it is.
Did you ever do the nose or the tongue?
Oh, gosh, no.
Me neither. Nipples?
No.
Oh.
I mean, I hesitated.
Well,
just
you
to see what the
paused.
look on your face.
You paused. I thought you were about to say, yeah. I
Well,
was
of
like,
course.
what? Rob, let me see.
I would
show him where it never happened.
The nose thing.
Tupac almost made me do it.
You got to be committed, though, right?
Yeah,
Because
Tupac almost made me do it, but I didn't.
How do you change it in and out?
Twist it from the top, I guess. But
How do you
I guess
put the back in?
I don't think there's a back.
Oh, okay.
There's no way there's a back.
Well,
I don't know
how's
how
it
you
stay
get it.
on? If
Great
I snoozed,
question.
I might put out an eye. I sneezed, I'd put out an eye on somebody.
Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to ask someone with the nose piercing.
I noticed Derrick Henry has his nose pierced and it's a cross.
Oh, he does?
And I was like, you got to be committed when you put on a nose earring because changing that thing out would involve.
What's the one Zeke has? What is it called? What is this one called right there? There you go. The septum.
That's one I will never understand.
Where you look like a bull.
Yeah.
You've seen Zeke with that earring right here.
Yeah, no, I don't get those either. But I guess
I know you don't get it.
It's somewhat
You
intimidating,
don't even
I suppose.
you don't have any tats, do you?
No.
No tats? I got one.
I need a good one. I'm not gonna just get a tat to get a tat. I thought about the state of Texas once, but now that's too cliche. Not like Danny Green. I don't have a championship to commemorate.
I think for you, it's definitely have to be something along the lines of play-by-play. I feel like that's something you're going to do for forever, like a mic, headphones, something along those lines, something that means something to you. Or wait till you have kids. I have my oldest on my arm.
Oh, I hadn't seen that.
Yeah, I have my oldest on my arm.
That's nice.
But my other two daughters are like,
what about us?
Yeah, that's all I have. How many you got?
1, 2, 4.
4? Nice.
They're little ones.
Yeah,
nothing
nothing crazy
like that. No.
I mean, my wife and I almost got each other's names in Miami. We were drunk. We're walking around and we see the tattoo bar, like, you get my name and I'll get yours. And we were like, all right, let's do it. And thank God the doors were locked.
I have 2.
It was closed. And the next morning we were like, we love each other, but that wasn't going to be the smartest decision.
You always can tell a good bar because they have a tattoo parlor next door.
Because they want
you stumble out.
I
have 2 that were stumble out. Let's get a tattoo. And you wake up.
You have 2 of those?
I have 2 unplanned. Wake up like, did I really do that? Oh yeah, that hurts. I did.
Well, at least it wasn't like on your face like Mike Tyson.
I got one on the back of my neck that I regret.
I've never seen it.
I'm glad it can't be seen. It's
the collar covers it. If the collar covers it, you Gucci.
It's an Asian symbol.
And you don't know what
and
it
I don't
means.
quite. I think it was.
What is it supposed to mean?
I keep in mind this was a late night South Padre kind of we're getting tattoos kind of night. I think it was like warrior father. I don't know. It meant it meant something. It was so important to me at the time. I think I might have even choked up, started crying. It just double. And then you wake.
Dude,
I woke up the next
morning. You won't
morning.
know until you go somewhere that can read it.
Oh, when you're out and you see all the international visitors, primarily from Asia, and they're walking around with shirts on that just say like water.
Yeah.
Well, it looks to them like our Asian symbol. They don't know what it says.
Right,
water
right,
just
right.
looks cool because it's English lettering,
Yeah.
or it says like run.
Now, if you go to a Asian country and everyone looks at you and pointing and laughing,
that's my
then
fear.
you know it doesn't say warrior father.
It's like Iron Chef. Something like that on my neck.
Yeah, that's what it probably is. Who knows?
I also got a tattoo live on air.
You got the Spurs thing,
I got
right?
my brother and I got
You
tats
both got
on
the
while
Spur-
doing a radio show.
The little horseshoe or whatever.
I got the
Spur.
the Spur.
Okay.
It was we won a title.
And y'all said we're getting tats on air.
We're getting tats on air, and you got to be very
How does that
careful of
come
the mobile
across on
tattoo
radio?
artists.
You just hear,
yeah, we would take turns. There was some grunting,
and so you're talking while he's getting his.
Kind of like that. I mean, it was just they were small. It's not very big, so it didn't take very long. But you got to be very careful when you hire a mobile tattoo artist. You need to do your research. You need to check the reviews.
Yeah,
because cleanliness is important.
Yes, you got to be clean because you don't end up with that thing all bumped up and stuff. Yeah, no, we don't want that.
And that can happen, can and will.
That's probably why I don't get it. I don't want to do the maintenance stuff.
Yeah, you have to maintain it. You have to put the stuff on it, keep it out the sun. It's not too much maintenance.
No,
it's not like a child.
It scabs over and then it's done.
Yeah, it's not like a child. You know what I mean?
But you've got a lot of shading there, man. That was a long one. I've never had to sit more than about an hour. I have never had to do anything.
Yeah, it numbed up after, this is like 2-3 hours and numbed up.
That shading is where it starts to get a little painful.
Yeah, it does.
Especially if it's on your shoulder blade.
And shading, did you see I shaded my beard?
Yes.
The gray is gone.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't notice.
What
I don't
brand
mind
do you
telling
use?
people. Just for men.
Just for men?
Jet black.
Jet black. How
But
long
so
do
you got to
leave
get
it
that
in?
stuff out in 5 minutes
5
flat.
minutes, or you end up looking like G.I. Joe.
Yeah, it's going to look crazy. I look like Carlos Boozer if you don't get that stuff out in 5 minutes. So the grays out, because I was going to UTSA tailgate. I didn't want to come out there and scare the kids.
I have my gray pattern on my beard is such that if I was to do it, it's a rather radical change. It would be very obvious if I just showed up.
Yours ain't that bad though. Mine is just
well, mine no longer has a distinctive color. There's too much gray in there for me to. If I went, I would not look because I'd have to go with the hair. I'd have to do the whole thing, and then I'd end up looking like Elvis.
You got to go kind of brownish gray. Like you don't go jet.
But
because then it looks different.
You can't, but there's no trying. There is just effort. If you can't practice this, you get one attempt. And if it goes south, you're wearing a baseball cap for a couple of weeks. You're suddenly
so true.
You're suddenly Mr. Cap.
Yeah.
Well, we managed to waste a bunch of time. Let's get everybody.
He said, someone said they remembered that. Was that after you did the a la Legba voodoo? Was
yes,
that
it
you?
was. Yes, it was.
Wow. Now Blackbird 76. That's a fan.
That's old school fan.
That's
right
a fan
there.
right there.
That was the same season that we performed an exorcism to fix the Spurs losing with a chicken sacrifice.
Oh, you and Jason were crazy. Y'all were crazy, man. I wish I would have met y'all.
You want to talk about a messed up radio studio? Blood spurts. Oh, that's all theater of the mind. Let's get you caught up on all the headlines. Let's get you all informed while I backtrack and make sure PETA doesn't reach out.
I know.
Is there a
moving on?
Moving on. Let's get Karl's headlines. Let's do it.
Here's the 411 in the 210.
Thank God we're getting back to sports. Headline 2. Peyton and Eli Manning's Monday Night Football broadcast doubles its viewership in Week 2. In Week 1, Peyton and Eli's accompanying Monday Night Football telecast on ESPN2 more than doubled in viewership. ESPN said Tuesday that the Manning's broadcast of Green Bay versus Detroit generated 1.9 million viewers, up from 800,000. That's a 132% increase. Meanwhile, ESPN's traditional broadcast with Steve Levy had just under 12 million people watching.
Did you? You know what? I finally did it this week. First week I forgot. This
again.
past week I did it. You didn't do it this week?
I forgot again. What'd you think?
I liked it.
Uh-huh.
I liked it a lot. I think some of the interviews go a little too long. Like they kept Gronk through 2 commercial breaks. I thought that was a little bit much. Patrick Willis looked a little bit uncomfortable. I missed McAfee. You and Minix are both high on McAfee, so I gotta I want to make sure I catch McAfee, but for all in all, man, I liked it. One, they're both kind of funny in their dry humor way, and then two, they gave me some stuff that I wouldn't know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But I think it's important though that you still get some of the Lewis, Riddick, and Levy to get the real feel of the game, and then I think it's good to just kind of toggle.
I think that might be the answer, because I agree that I'm sure it's entertaining, and I love the Mannings. I feel like if they ran that the day after, if they did that with every football game and had the guys in, and it would be more something I would dive into. But it's still, I saw about 15 minutes of it the first week, and I felt like it was in the way of the game. But that week it was the first, and I was really more excited about watching football than being entertained by something else. Last night or Monday night, I can see how it picks up.
Dude, they more than doubled.
But you got to be. I think what it has also done is magnified the fact that while I like Levy and Riddick and
I love those. I love
Shula,
Riddick.
Right, those are the three.
I'm not sure who the third is, but I love Riddick.
Brian Grease.
Greasy.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
Greasy. Okay.
So they're boring. Doesn't it? It kind of highlights that while they're informative and Riddick tries to be, a little bit more of the color side of things and add stuff, they're boring.
Right. And the thing I liked, and I told Karl this yesterday about Peyton and Eli, it's like watching them is like you watching the game with your boys.
Right.
Like y'all are watching the game, but you're just chopping it up. And then a big play happens, and then you start talking about the game. You know what I mean? It's like you just sitting around in someone's man cave, y'all having a few beers, which Karl said they both had red Solo cups, which that they missed me. I'm sure ESPN at some point said, hey, guys, keep the cups down. You can sit, but just keep the cups down. Sit during breaks.
Oh, no, you could see it very clearly. They even talked about it. I think Jake Cutler sent in a tweet. It's like, what's in there? And they're like, oh, you know what? It's not water.
Respect.
Yeah, so
I had no idea.
It felt like you were watching the game with the fellas. Like y'all just chopping it up while the game is on.
They've got something here.
When you get 1.8 million, okay? There ain't 1.8 million people that watch a regular season NBA game.
No.
Okay?
It's
not.
They have found
unless
something.
It's Lakers Golden State. But for the most part, that's huge.
I don't know where this is going, and obviously the idea
to the bank.
Well, I'm just saying this idea of the Mannings or these former athletes actually not doing a pre and post show, but doing a during show. That's unheard of. They've obviously stolen the model from the TNT guys.
Yeah, Players Only was not good. It has to be the right people.
Well, you have to have the right people, absolutely. But what I'm saying is, I think they have found something in the Mannings that's going to translate far beyond this Monday night stuff.
Yeah, that's in game.
But I wouldn't be surprised now if they go search, and now we have the counter broadcast for all of this stuff. If I'm an NBA programmer, I'm going, I want to do the same thing with an NBA game.
Yeah.
If I'm only getting 1.8, what if I suddenly go get X and Y to sit and talk about the game like I'm with my boys as the game is on and give it counter programming? We're going to see this some more.
It's also, you need a guy like Peyton that has the stories.
Well,
like Peyton has the stories and he has the humor. You got to have the personality as well.
And he, for that, is one in a million. I mean, the Mannings were born to it.
Yeah.
They've been doing it for so long. Excellent for them to grow like that.
1.8 is crazy.
But this is just the beginning of something I do believe is going to be a fad. Moving on.
All righty, headline one. John Gruden says that Derek Carr and Josh Jacobs are questionable. Derek Carr questionable. Josh Jacobs very questionable. Both out with ankles as they prepare for the Dolphins, who are going to be without Tua Tagovailoa.
And no defense on top of that.
Who's no defense?
The Dolphins just gave up 34.
Yeah, the Bills really stuck it to him and shut him out. It sucks for Carr. I hope he's okay because, this is another one of those guys that's like, if there's a good quarterback available, Derek Carr is one of the first guys we talk about. And then he comes out to start the season, beats Baltimore, and then beats the Steelers in Pittsburgh, and all while throwing over 300 yards in both games. So I was happy to see the guy get off to a great start. So hopefully, the ankles are tricky, depending on if it's a lower ankle, you can tape that thing up, take some pain meds, and get through. If it's high ankle, you're done. So hopefully it's a lower ankle sprain, but they also do need Josh Jacobs. They need Josh Jacobs as well. He's a monster.
As do the Mambo Kings fantasy football squad. We desperately need us some Josh Jacobs.
He's very questionable.
My son took me out back and whooped me with a switch.
But he put up 160. Like, those are just the weeks where you just tip your cap.
Well,
no
Josh Jacobs, that hurt. This is the best thing personally that could happen to Derek Carr.
Why you say
it's the worst thing professionally, at least for his organization, because finally we're talking about Derek Carr where he probably belongs, in the upper echelon of quarterbacks. We're finally seeing him be a leader, do things to win a football game, not just to manage it. And I think that's always been the issue. You're a good front runner.
Yeah.
2-0, throwing for yards.
Two great teams.
Doing everything. And he also had that kind of play in the first week that says, okay, you're not just a middling quarterback. You can make a play to win a football game. You can complete a pass.
Yeah.
His absence will magnify that. Will show. I think personally, this is the best thing ever happened to you, man. You kind of go into a Miami team that has showed they got zero defense and got issues, and watch what this Miami defense does to the offense without Carr. I have a feeling everybody's gonna be talking about how quickly do we get Derek Carr back.
Great take, Rob.
So
great take.
Great for him. Now on the other side, they need them some Josh Jacobs.
For real.
Is Mariota healthy enough?
He's not healthy.
No,
they're really kind of banged up like everybody else in the league.
Yeah, everybody gonna be praying with his Derek.
It's
coming
the year
back.
of the ankle, Karl.
Yes, it is. Moving along.
All right, and headline 0. Sugar Ray Leonard admits Tommy Hearns won the rematch fight and should have gotten the decision 32 years after the controversial rematch. A blockbuster fight billed the war. Sugar Ray Leonard is admitting judges got it wrong. Tommy Hearns should have been declared the winner. In 1989, you should have won. Quote, as Leonard said, you should have gotten the decision, Robinson told Hearns as the boxing great stood face-to-face on an LA sidewalk Monday talking to TMZ Sports.
Wait, time out. I thought Thomas Hearns died.
No.
Thomas Hearns is dead.
Did Tommy die?
Who's Thomas Hearns?
Oh,
Is
my
that what
God.
you
The
said?
Hitman?
Yeah. No. It's Tommy Hearns, but I don't know who
Tommy.
he is. I know Sugar Ray Leonard because I've heard the name, but to be honest with you, 32 years ago, I was not alive.
No, he's not.
Well, you weren't alive for a lot of stuff.
He's still alive, dude.
No, he's not.
You gave me a heart attack.
He's on. He talked to TMZ Sports yesterday.
You scared me.
I
there
sent
for
you
a
the
second.
headline.
Oh,
The
okay.
Hitman's still around. I think the guy that
Okay.
was from the Kronk gym, he's passed.
Okay.
Sugar Ray is 65. Hearns is 62. They were leaving Doug Ellen and Kevin Dillon's Victory the Podcast, where they commemorated the 40th anniversary of their first fight in 1981, where Ray won by 14th round knockout, the Hitman's first loss.
For those,
Did
of an
you
age-
see that fight?
Yes.
Okay, talk to me.
First of all, of that era, when
I was
the
thinking about
welters-
Hagler. I'm sorry.
when
Go
the
ahead.
welters and the middles and
Yeah.
the junior middles were kind of coming back and forth, when you had Tommy Hearns and Marvin Hagler and Sugar Ray and
Roberto
Duran. Oh, there were others, but those were the four primaries.
Right.
Boxing was great then, and Tommy and Sugar's
Sugar Ray.
fights, especially that last one, where Sugar won the fight because he capitalized on the last 30-second of every round, and he finished strong. That's how he won the fight, but it was an extraordinary tactical move. Those fights, there was a Hagler-Hearns fight, which was the greatest round of boxing I have
that first round?
ever
I've seen
witnessed.
that. I've seen it on YouTube.
Yes.
That first round, they hated each other, and they showed, and that was that's probably got to be the best, right?
As far as
First
one round
Yeah.
of just haymakers from the get-go, but that was not unique. That's how all those guys went at each other. Sometimes it was tactical. Others, I'm just going to knock you out as soon as I can. Glorious time. Sugar, don't back up on that. I appreciate that you're being good to your longtime rival and also longtime friend, but you won that fight, man. That wasn't about the judges. Sugar won that fight. I appreciate what you're doing.
I didn't see that fight. I've heard of. I mean, I'm not like Karl. I was 12. I just don't remember. I probably did watch it with my family. I just don't remember because I can't see my family not watching that. But I don't. I wasn't old enough to remember. But I mean, hey, man, if he said he lost, Rob, what are we gonna do?
Well, I have mad respect for something you're giving something.
Yeah.
But you have to, when you saw the fight, the game plan was so unique where he did kind of, I wouldn't say a rope-a-dope every round, but Sugar saved everything he had for the last 30 seconds. When you're watching a fight, you hear that that clap that says, I got 30.
Got 10 seconds,
that was
whatever.
the light switch for Sugar. In the last 4 or 5 rounds, he finished with flurries, so the judges would give him a couple of extra because they felt, he won the round. Well, he might not have won the round.
And
he just won the last 30 seconds.
What's crazy is it seems like Sugar was so much smaller than Hitman.
Tommy was taller.
Yeah, okay.
Tommy
that's
taller.
what I mean. Yeah, way taller.
Yeah, and Tommy could add a little bit of weight, a little bit better. So he kind of moved up, and those Hagler-Hearns fights were so great because Tommy could put on a little bit of weight.
Yeah, but Hagler was who I was thinking about. Hagler passed away. Not Hitman. Rob was like, what did I miss?
Man, you gave me a bit of a heart attack. I almost felt a little older all of a sudden.
No, yeah.
Tommy out of the
My
Crump
bad.
Gym out of Detroit. Represent. And thanks for the boxing headline. And, it does fall in. We do have some boxing news to talk about in that weight class with Canelo and Caleb Plant going at it. Somebody was bleeding after the press conference. We'll talk about that in a bit. Hey, when we come back, though, Ben Simmons rumor of the day. And what's today? Wednesday? Yeah, the day ends in Y. So we do have a Ben Simmons rumor. And this one has some teeth because it came from Wendy. Hold on tight. We got a lot to talk about. You're on R&R in the morning. This is San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Listen up, my sports bettors. Listen up, my brethren. I only endorse one sports book, and it's betus.com. You need to get involved. You need to come play. You probably already laying money elsewhere. Well, come and take some of the bonuses and find out what I already know about betus.com, and that is their longevity proves integrity. They've been around for 25 years. You don't last in this business without paying your customers. They pay on time, on target. Above and beyond that, you need a sports book, that offers everything that you're after, including live betting, in-game betting. Of course they have it. That's the fun stuff. MMA, golf, horses, esports, all the great prop bets, of course. They're at betus.com. I want you to call them today and get yourself signed up. It's easier than online, although you can do it online. I've done that. But if you call, it takes care of a couple of questions a lot quicker than it does online. It's easy. 1-800-79-BET-US. Take you just a couple of minutes from that point on. Online, as fast as you can go, they've got it for you. 1-800-79-BET-US. They'll walk you through the process of setting up your account, knowing full well that nobody in the industry gives better bonuses than BetUS right now. If you'll join them right now and mention KZDC, that's KZDC, you can get up to 200% in bonuses on your very first deposit. And let me tell you, nobody does that. Go sign up and take advantage of that. You'll find out you'll stay because you'll know the integrity is built in. I bet at BetUS, and so should you. Join BetUS.com today. Start betting with America's favorite sports book. Mention KZDC. Get up to 200% in bonuses. BetUS.com, where the game begins.
Sports Center is brought to you by Kielbasa Slow Crafted Sausage, available at your local grocery stores.
The Texas Rangers fell to the New York Yankees 7-1. Rangers first baseman Andy Ibanez was the only Texas player to register more than one hit on the ballgame as he went 3 of 4 from the plate. For New York, Jordan Montgomery got the start on the mound and the win, limiting Texas to 1 run on 4 hits in his 5 2/3 innings pitched. Texas falls behind in the series 2-0, and they play the final game of the series tonight, trying to avoid the sweep with a 6:05 first pitch. The Houston Astros took care of the LA Angels 10-5 on the West Coast. Jose Urquidy got the start and the run support to get the win on the mound for Houston, thanks in part to 2 runs scored by both Jose Altuve and Yuri Gurriel. Those are your baseball headlines. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Karl Schoening.
When it comes to replacing your home windows, nobody does it better in San Antonio than the Window Source. If you're still living with old, drafty, single-pane windows, those have got to go. Upgrade to new, Texas-made, Texas-proud, energy-efficient windows. The Window Source of San Antonio offers some of the best deals around, and all come with the assurance of a full lifetime warranty. Call 210-880-3021 to book your free estimate or visit them online to learn more. WindowSourceofSA.com. Let them old windows go.
Getting old stinks. Taking prescription drugs, that gets old. Waking up tired, bloated, achy, fat, it stinks. Is that you? It was me. You start adding things on, you go, I can put up with it. But when you add everything together, you start realizing, man, my life can get a whole lot better, and you can start fixing that by just losing a little bit of weight. Nothing affects your long-term health than your weight, and Dr. Jacob Torres is there to help you out. So many of us has tried to lose weight, maybe something online, maybe something a friend had, maybe the latest fad one of your stars has done. We all have ended up a little bit upset. The yo-yo effect. You lose a little bit weight, you're feeling good about yourself. You start having a cheat day, things get easier, and before you know it, you're heavier than you were before. If that's the way you're living, stop. Don't let another day go by feeling the same way, feeling that way again. The Institute for Functional Health, well, they've changed my life, and you need to schedule a free consultation and find out how easily and how quickly you can start feeling better. How easily and how quickly you can get off some of those prescriptive medications that you're taking just because you're carrying too much weight. Maybe it's hypertension. Maybe you're dealing with a little bit more of that diabetes issue that so many of us start dealing with from years of poor eating habit. If you're dealing with headaches, inflammation, joint pain, digestive issues, those can all be fixed as well. Now, many of you have been to your doctor. Doctor says, hey, for the state you're in pretty good shape. Don't live like that. You can make things better by just starting to drop a few pounds, and there's no way better than through the medical professional system that Dr. Torres and the IFF have put together. What they do is based in science. The program they put together is only for you. This is a physician monitoring your weight loss, which is the only way to do it. I want you to listen to any diet commercial, anything you've seen. What do they say? Consult a medical professional before beginning. And if you do, they'll probably tell you, don't do that. Do something based in true science. I'm not talking about a short-term diet either. I'm talking about a long-term change your life kind of thing. It changed mine. I'm down nearly 40 pounds and still working on it. This is an ongoing issue. It's not the easiest thing I've ever done. It's the best thing I've ever done for myself. Call Dr. Torres. Find out what I know. The number's 210-468-1891. Easy conversation. It is absolutely free of charge. He'll answer your questions. He'll explain exactly how he does and what he does, and it's really not that difficult. He'll be there to mentor. He'll be there to guide. He'll be there to chastise if you're not living up to your end of the deal. That has been the biggest part of my success, is their concern about my health. Go check out their website, iffhealth.com. Give them a call at 210-468-1891. Get involved with the Institute for Functional Health. You'll start losing weight quick, and before you know it, you're going to look great in those Christmas photos. Call the IFF today. It changed my life. It'll change yours. When you do, I'm sure you'll thank me later.
Welcome to a place where everyone deserves to be better protected, where technology has your back, where you can have better protection and keep more money in your pocket, where you can have protection for your car, your home, your phone, and even your digital identity. Welcome to a place where your entire life can be better protected. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Allstate and affiliates offer products and services subject to availability, terms, and conditions.
R&R in the Morning, sitting with Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com is his website. Jason Thompson, I'm curious. I was in a car accident, but I wasn't the driver. I was just a passenger. Do I need a lawyer too?
I think anytime you are injured in an automobile collision, whether you were the driver, a passenger, the guy in the back seat, know this, that when insurance is involved, every insurance company I have ever heard of has a staff of lawyers on staff right now. As soon as that collision happens, whoever caused it is represented by an attorney. And if you think you're going to alone beat an insurance company's team of lawyers, you're sadly mistaken. The first thing you do is call me.
Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com, 210-900-0400. 210-900-0400, a lawyerforus.com.
$5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get in on the action. Well, no more, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide, with plans starting at just $35 a month with no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for only $299, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required, actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Earn cash back every time you shop. Now through September 24th, during Lowe's Just for Pros event, you can earn up to $150 in statement credits when you're approved for a Lowe's Business Rewards card from American Express and join the Lowe's for Pros loyalty program. This exclusive offer is only for new eligible Lowe's Business Rewards card members, so apply today at lowes.com/business credit. Lowe's, the new home for pros. More terms apply. U.S. only.
Sports breakfast for your ears. Rob Thompson, Rudy J. R&R in the morning on San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It's R&R in the morning. Sports breakfast for your ears. He's Rudy J. I'm Rob Thompson.
What up?
Well, if you're a halftime listener, and if you're not, you're missing out. Noon to 2, Karl Schoenig, myself, we kind of chop things up in a little bit greater detail. Spurs and NBA always front and center on halftime. You know full well that the Ben Simmons rumors, they're not just smoke. There is fire there. There is fire there, no question about it.
They're not even rumors anymore because Woj spoke it into truth.
What did he say?
And Woj has been pretty consistent. So yesterday, Woj came out and kind of reflected what we've been hearing back channel from Ben Simmons' people.
Yeah, it turns out that what Kendrick Perkins said, 3 weeks ago, he will not even show up to training camp. And I think Woj's tweet was something along the lines of he will not wear an NBA jersey again until it's not in Philadelphia.
So we've heard enough rumors that we know that San Antonio has been involved. We were just talking to Mark Stein, a noted and respected NBA writer, has said as much, that the Spurs have been actively involved in asking or looking for a deal that could be made for Ben Simmons. Now, we hear from Wendy yesterday, Brian Windhorst, the lamprey to LeBron James, Shark, that Daryl Morey is still entertaining trades, but the fact of the matter is they're waiting for a star. They're waiting for Dame. They're waiting for Bradley Beal. They're waiting for a name to start shaking off the tree. And I understand the wait because I think both Beal and Dame are in positions or situations that could easily go to the negative, that Dame could walk in tomorrow and say, you haven't done enough for me. I'm done. Bradley Beal, we know he's not been happy in forever. So there is the potential for Morey to go get value for value, but when you hear Ben Simmons come out and, we hear it from the reputable sources that we're hearing that I'm not even going to show up. I am willing never to play again. That does tend to turn up the heat. Now, the best scenario, I think, for everybody involved is for Ben to show up in shape on time to training camp. So at least Philadelphia can offer at least the perception that things are good enough for him to play. But now that appears to be completely out. Now, I have a question. Here's my question for you. If Morey is saying it's going to take a star, it's not so much about quantity. I need a replacement in the starting five to come this way. We've already said everybody's touchable on this team but Keldon.
Gosh. Okay, let's stay there. We have said that, so let's just stay there. But yes, you can see I'm still torn on that. But yes, we've said that numerous times on this show. Everybody but Keldon. So
Morey is obviously talking to Spur, Brian Wright, whoever it might be, who the point of contact is. When we hear from Woj saying what Morey is looking for, that is tactically released so that Brian is making the negotiating statement to everybody that's made the call. I've told it behind the scenes. I've told you, look, for you to get Ben, it's going to cost you Dame if it's Portland. It's going to cost you Beal if you're a Wizard. It's going to cost you Keldon and something else if you're a Spur. That's been reinforced. So now we know where we're playing.
See, this is my thing, though. Like, I believe the reports that the Spurs are interested, but I don't know if at this point, today, right now, September 22nd, 2021, if Keldon fits the bill of a star. I don't know. So the Spurs may be calling, but Daryl might be also like, I don't know if there's anything there that, like, when you're talking about Dame, who's already solidified, he's taken the team of nobodies to the Western Conference Finals. Bill, I'm torn on Bill because I saw Bill and Westbrook have to be in a play-in in the Eastern Conference. So that's why I don't know. I don't know. Now, Bill next to Embiid, maybe there's something there, but he was next to what some people tell me is the most athletic point guard of all time, and they couldn't even get in the playoffs in the Eastern Conference Finals. So when Morey said star, but what Morey has got to wrap his head around, and what we went through here is you're not going to get equal value for somebody of what you're not going to get what you think you should for Ben Simmons. Because another thing is, Daryl, not everybody feels like Ben Simmons is a superstar. Because if he was that much of a superstar, y'all wouldn't have been looking to trade him before he got disgruntled. There's huge flaws, and we don't have to rehash them because we know what they are. There's huge flaws in Ben Simmons' game. Do I like him? Would I take him? Absolutely. But not everybody has him in the light of what Kawhi's light was. Kawhi already had a Finals MVP. We know Anthony Davis was just trapped around the Pelicans and around the GM and a staff that didn't know what to do with them. Like, those were guys who were legit stars. Like, yo, they can do it all. We don't know what Ben is going to be. We don't know if Ben is ever going to want to shoot the ball. So Morey's going to have to wrap his head. Morey's going to have to come down on his price. I think Morey is asking too much of a guy where we don't know where his career is going.
Looking back to what the Spurs did.
Okay.
I'm sure the Spurs were looking for Bradley Beal, Dame Lillard when Kawhi was on the block.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sure the Spurs, they just weren't that open about it.
Right.
And the haul that they got back for Kawhi, I think, is about as much as any team can expect for a superstar.
You got Keldon.
Well, they got Keldon, they got Jakob Poeltl, and they got DeMar DeRozan.
Right.
I mean,
and DeMar was coming off a second-team All-NBA.
So,
well, he never got out the first round here.
All of that. But what I'm saying is that was for Kawhi, who immediately brought a title. Immediately. And he was at the top of his game, though the injuries were nagging.
Yeah.
Is the injury to Kawhi's quad an equal kind of limiter as Ben Simmons' jump shot, which is basically the same kind of thing we're talking about? If Kawhi's calf or quad was better, would they have gotten more talent? I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think the best deal was for the Lakers, and they just couldn't fathom trading. The best deal, because, again, you're talking about Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart, like that was the best haul. That was the best haul they could have gotten. But as a Spur, as a GM, you're like, dude, I'm not trading you where you want to go.
Okay.
Like, I just can't do it.
I need to, Karl, does Sixer fan and Sixer GM feel the same way about the Wizards? Can they not even fathom doing a deal with somebody that they're going to be in competition with?
It's the Wizards. It's really about the value back and maximizing Joel Embiid's prime right now, and maybe acquiring enough first-round pick assets for the next disgruntled star. Because it seems every year there's somebody that's going to demand a trade, whether it's Dame Lillard next year. So do you maybe say, okay, we're going to punt on Ben Simmons and just take those pieces that'll maybe be a stopgap for when Dame demands a trade next year, and we have all the first-round picks we accumulated from the Ben Simmons trade to go after a Damian Lillard or whoever it might be, because the salary cap situation is not going to, no trade is going to open up cap space next year for the 76ers to go after a Bradley Beal in free agency or Zach LaVine in free agency. So
Zach just re-signed, though, didn't he?
No, he's trying to get the respect money, but they also just brought in Lonzo Ball and DeMar DeRozan. So that's kind of, in my opinion, pointing to the direction of Zach LaVine is leaving.
Yeah,
I
in case.
I think Zach's about to get paid. I think he's going to be a Bull.
I think the Bulls better pay him.
They're going to pay him. He'll be a
the
Bull for
Bulls
the next
better
5
pay
years.
him if they're smart.
So this is what Mark Stein said in his newsletter. I think it was yesterday or two when this all came out. The Sixers have not lowered their bar on what they're seeking in a Simmons trade yet. Toronto, Minnesota, Cleveland, San Antonio, and Sacramento, all of them, league sources say, have engaged in Philadelphia in a Simmons trade talk. They're also bubble playoff teams at best, based in markets not known for attracting free agents. And sure, we would love the idea of acquiring Simmons, who has 4 years left on his contract. While Simmons possesses virtually no leverage when it comes to dictating his destination, because previously, when these guys demand trades, they're on the last year or year and a half of their contract. With 4 years and nearly $150 million left on his contract without a no-trade clause, Morey isn't exactly teeming with leverage in this dialogue with rival front offices. Not when the whole world knows he's trying to trade Simmons after his disastrous playoff run marred with 34% shooting from the free throw line. Simmons' infamous refusal to lay up or dunk the ball in the fourth quarter when he had a clear path to rim.
They're going to end up with a DeMar DeRozan, Jakob Poeltl, and a draft pick kind of haul. That's just what's going to happen. They're going to get a middling star, whether he's on his way up or on his way down. Another guy that could pan out and a first and a couple of firsts.
The reason you need it, I understand where Morey is coming from. The reason he feels like he needs a star is because if you don't have a star, if you don't have someone that can help you get to the NBA Finals, then Embiid is next Embiid's going to be right behind Ben Simmons, knocking like, "Hey, Daryl, can I talk to you? We've done what we can here. I'm done." If he doesn't put a competitive team on the court that can help Embiid get to the finals, Embiid will be right behind Ben Simmons and demanding a trade.
He just signed a massive deal, though. So he loves Philly. So I don't know about that.
Trust me. I'm not saying when I say he'll be right behind him, I'm saying in a year or two, give it 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And again, most of these guys ain't waiting. Like most of these guys aren't waiting until they're like 1 year away. These guys are like saying it then, like in 2 years, because again, if you just bring in a Jakob Poeltl and DeMar DeRozan, the Eastern Conference is getting better and better. You're not going to be able to compete with Brooklyn. You're not going to be able to compete with Milwaukee. Realistically, Miami made some key additions. So Philly, you lose Ben Simmons and you bring in a couple guys and some draft picks. Philly falls to 5th, 6th in this conference. And like I said, again, in another couple years, Embiid will be right behind them, disgruntled. And then now you're back at square one. So I understand, and that's why I feel like you need to call the guys in the Bay. Because Ben Simmons can do what Draymond does. Rebound, set up plays, get assists, run the break. You go out, you ask him for James Wiseman, you ask him for Draymond Green, you ask him for 2 or 3 of their next first-round picks, and maybe throw in them even Wiggins. That's the best fit because you could get the most for it.
Yes.
And then you get Draymond Green and James Wiseman.
And it would work. It would work.
But the Warriors have already sort of through their own back channel said, we're not interested in Ben Simmons. They have a really good present and future set up.
I would too if I were them.
I think that if they could make the deal for Draymond for Ben Simmons today, they would make it.
Yes.
I think that they would.
But I would tell everybody. I mean, I'm not saying they're lying, Carl, but I would tell everybody that as well.
I agree. I'd be saying the same thing. But the fact remains, you add 3 more years to that little run if Klay Thompson comes back at least moderately healthy. When we come back, talking about coming back healthy, Sean Marks, the general manager of the Brooklyn Nets, might have some trouble. You know what goes on in New York? Well, they have to be vaxxed. You got to have a card just to go to a game. What if you're a player that plays there on the regular and you're not vaxxed? Yeah, that's a problem for Sean Marks. We'll talk about it coming up next. And lots of college football talk in the 9 o'clock hour. The expanded playoff might be in peril. And can primetime coach in L.A.? We'll talk about it coming up. Hang around with us. It's R&R in the morning, and this is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Thinking about selling your car? Don't get tricked into those 2-minute offers, and then you end up spending 4 hours at the dealership. Check out my buddies at CarZeus.com. CarZeus. CarZeus isn't a dealership. No shady tactics, no crazy stuff just to get you in the door. Talking about saving time and hassle. Go to CarZeus.com, fill out a form. Tell them about your car's condition. Local. That's what I want to stress. This is a local business. Support local. We talked about this yesterday. Support your local businesses. A local agent will text you an offer during business hours. Absolutely no obligation. After they give you the offer, you don't like it? Hey, no problem. Shake hands. Have a glass of water. Peace. Be on your way. You kind of want to think about it? Just know you got 5 days, 500 miles, and that offer could change. May stay the same or it could change. The biggest thing and the most thing that I love the most is they pay on the exact same day. So, you know, you need some cash. The car's just been sitting there, but it works perfectly fine. People on Facebook trying to lowball you, trying to haggle you. People on OfferUp trying to haggle you. Go to CarZeus. This is like the most convenient place you can go to, and they do great business. And they pay the same day, and they'll even give you a Lyft ride home if you need it. That's CarZeus.com. That's CarZeus.com.
A 17-week season and only one couch. Let's hope it holds up. The Cowboys are back. The explosive action happens here. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It's time to talk windows. I tell y'all every day. When it comes to windows, nobody does it better in San Antonio than WindowSourceSA.com. If you're still living with old, drafty, single window panes, those got to get up out of there. It's time to go. It's time to upgrade to new Texas made, Texas proud, energy efficient windows. All it takes is a phone call, 880-3021 or visit windowsourceofsa.com. Offer some of the best deals around, and it comes with professional installation, which I can't stress enough, especially when you're talking about something as delicate as your windows. You don't want those put in all crazy. Then it's like, it's kind of up a little bit on the side. It's kind of leaning, kind of tilt, kind of crooked. You don't want that. You want professional installation with a full lifetime warranty. And anytime somebody offers you a full lifetime warranty, they ain't trying to come in and give you some new windows. That's the key there. So that means it's going to be done once and it's going to be done right. Window Source San Antonio, they have 30 different styles and varieties to suit anybody's taste. They got a brand new showroom off the Fairgrounds Parkway. You can work with the windows consultant to handpick your windows in person. Call 210-880-3021 to book your free estimate. Yes, I said a free estimate. Or visit them online to learn more. That's windowsourcesa.com. Let the mole windows go. Rudy J here, and I want to tell you about Manrique Custom Vision. Dr. Manrique has performed over 58,000 laser vision corrections, and he's the only Z-LASIK trainer in the area. He treats nearsightedness, farsightedness, and even astigmatism. And all procedures are blade-free and pain-free, and they just take seconds per eye. Get the vision you deserve without glasses and contacts. Call 354-2020 today to get the Manrique difference. Don't compromise your only set of eyes. Call 354-2020 today.
Jason Minix here for Alamo Water Softeners. Whether your home is a new build or an older home, Alamo Water Softeners has a water treatment bundle with special pricing to give your home the highest quality water treatment available. Choose from several bundles, including the Premier Whole Home Bundle. Get a free standard gas or electric water heater when you purchase a select top-of-the-line water softener, plus one filter and reverse osmosis system. Go to AlamoWaterSofteners.com. That's AlamoWaterSofteners.com.
Running a business comes with pressure. Remote workforces, HR compliance, retaining top talent. You start to feel boxed in. Fortunately, there's Insperity. They put 30 plus years of HR service and technology to work, offering my employees competitive benefit options while lightening my HR load. Instead of obstacles, I'm surrounded by people empowered to be their best. With Insperity, nothing seems impossible. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
Since being the first to make wiper blades over a century ago, Trico has protected drivers in any weather. We're always looking ahead, studying your specific driving conditions so you'll be ready for anything. Like, if it actually rains cats and dogs, you can handle every soggy Siamese and drenched Doberman. Your Trico wipers maintain maximum windshield contact for safe, clear driving visibility, whatever the weather. Trico, the future of wipers since 1917. Visit TricoCatsAndDogs.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Dashboard light problems? We can help. Our free Fix Finder service can read your check engine light, ABS light, and service indicator light, and give you possible solutions, verified by licensed technicians. You'll even get detailed results sent straight to your email so you have them when you need it most. It's the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes. The free Fix Finder service, only at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
More details at AutoZone.com.
The Dallas Cowboys, the Philadelphia Eagles. Two bitter rivals, one big night. Get the action live Monday starting at 7:15. Sponsored by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota. San Antonio Sports Star. ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hey, it's Max Keller. Listen weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m. on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
It's R&R in the morning. Let me tell you, if you haven't registered for Dallas Cowboy home game tickets, I don't know what else to do. I can only lead you to water. You got to drink it.
Amen.
To drink it, you go to sasportstar.com and get registered to win. We got home game tickets all season long. So go get yourself signed up right now. That's at sasportstar.com. You can win yourself some Dallas Cowboy tickets. You're on R&R in the morning. He's Rudy J. I'm Rob Thompson. Rudy about to pull the ripcord. About to head in for a procedure. Going to go to our good friends Manrique and have some lasers pointed at your eyes.
Yeah, man.
This is a significant change. Think about, you don't have to wake up and put on contacts anymore. Think about all the things you've missed out. When you're doing color on Friday night's game, you're going to be able to look down and say, that Johnson player, he's wearing number 12. I can see it, man. That's the guy. Did you know that every tree out there isn't just green? There's a leaf at the end of every little twig.
Rob, I'm going to be able to find my golf ball.
You mean it's not always on the green?
No,
that's not.
I always need help finding my ball, so hopefully this will help. That's the most thing I'm looking forward to, being able to, slice my drive into the crap and be like, oh,
there it is.
There's my noodle 2. I'll be able to find my golf ball without saying, hey, y'all, did y'all remember was I past this tree or was I in front of this tree? Do y'all remember where it went out at? So I'll be able to find my golf ball. I'm looking forward to that.
Well, Godspeed to that. I cannot wait to hear more about it tomorrow. When we come back, college football front and center. Prime time might be headed to USC. That's what Reggie Bush would like. And if you're a fan of an expanded playoff, there's troubled waters ahead. Let's talk some college football. Coming up next, you guys are so lucky to be with us. It's R&R in the morning, and this is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Yeah, as Rob just told y'all, man, I'm headed out like right now. Not like now, like right now. Headed over to Dr. Manrique at Manrique Custom Vision. A little nervous, but at the same time, I've talked to plenty of people who've done the surgery, and they say I got nothing to worry about. Dr. Manrique has performed over 60 laser vision correction, and he's the only Z-LASIK trainer in the area. Nearsightedness, farsightedness, and even astigmatism. All procedures blade-free and pain-free, and they just take seconds per eye. So I'm going to get the vision I deserve. No glasses, no contacts. Call 354-2020 if you want to do the same today and get the Manrique difference. Don't compromise your only set of eyes. That's 354-2020. I'll let y'all know tomorrow how it goes, man. Like I said, I think they got Dr. Manrique got somebody rolling tape on this. So if they get me that footage, I'll get it to y'all, and then you can see how easy it is. So y'all stay tuned tomorrow. I think I got some stuff to do with y'all tonight, right, Rob? We got some Are we talking about that? We got some.
Yeah, we're gonna go to the dojo over on Broadway, the Dog Pound Dojo.
We're gonna do some wrestling.
We're gonna learn some wrestling moves tonight.
Yeah, so I'm going over there with my Stevie Wonder glasses and
fingertips.
Yeah, I'm gonna be over there with my Stevie Wonder because it's always a good day. So, Manrique, I'm headed your way. I rhymed and didn't even was supposed to. 354-2020, Manrique Custom Vision. Tell them R&R in the morning sent you.
Emotion. There are few places in the broadcast universe where emotion is so sweet.
To the ground ball toward the middle, counter Falefa to his left. He's got it. He spins. He throws. He got him. The ball game's over. Joey swings and launches one high in the air, deep center field. This one's on its way. That ball is history. This game is tied.
This is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Can you feel it?
R&R in the morning, sitting with Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com is his website. Jason Thompson, I'm curious. I was in a car accident, but I wasn't the driver. I was just a passenger. Do I need a lawyer too?
I think anytime you are injured in an automobile collision, whether you were the driver, a passenger, the guy in the back seat, know this, that when insurance is involved, every insurance company I have ever heard of has a staff of lawyers on staff right now. As soon as that collision happens, whoever caused it is represented by an attorney. And if you think you're going to alone beat an insurance company's team of lawyers, you're sadly mistaken. The first thing you do is call me.
Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com, 210-900-0400. 210-900-0400, a lawyerforus.com.
Whether you're driving for distance, pitching for precision, or putting to win it all, come to Edwin Watts Golf Shop to get custom fit for all your clubs throughout your bag. Hit a few balls and let our team show you the latest swing technology and data that will help optimize your game. Having each club tailored to become your gamer's will help you start shooting lower scores. Let Edwin Watts Golf Shops help you make every shot the perfect one. Come in and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
Billy Bob's Beds, the greatest store on earth. Nobody sells sure to perfect sleepers, cheap birds. We're the biggest store in San Antonio. We've got 100 different mattresses to choose from. We're having a big sale this weekend. Nobody beats my prices or money. It's not Billy Bob.
Billy Bob, I went to another store. They had a luxury queen size set for $12.99. What can you do?
I got one just like it for $4.99. So get off my phone, get over here, and save yourself a fortune on a mattress. It's going to make you late to work.
Billy Bob, you got credit, and do you deliver?
I've got interest-free credit, and baby, do I deliver. Log on to BillyBobsBeds.com and check out our internet special.
Billy Bob's Beds is having a huge inventory clearance sale with discounts up to 80% off. You can get any Stein & Richter pillow top mattress, twin, full, or queen for only $199. And now you can shop our in-store collection online at BillyBobsBeds.com and then pick up your items the same day in store. Get over to Billy Bob's Beds before 6 p.m. That's BillyBobsBeds.com.
Ooh, Billy Bob, I'm headed your way.
As a pro, you know you need the right tools for the job. Shop the Just for Pros event at Lowe's now through September 24th to save on top tool brands and more. Up your power with the Bosch 18-volt cordless hammer drill kit, plus bonus laser distance measure, only $149. And the DeWalt 16-piece bimetal reciprocating saw blade set, now only $22.98. Shop in-store and at Lowe's.com. Lowe's, the new home for pros. Valid through 9/24, U.S. only.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fansville, a college football utopia. Fansville. Where the lakes are stocked with ice-cold Dr. Pepper, and the autumn winds rustle with the sweet smell of football glory. And Dr. Pepper. It's a land flowing with onion dip, where even the food pyramid is shaped like a hot dog. Football. Where every yard gained is a yard worth celebrating, and every celebration is beyond excessive. With ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Return to glory this season with Fansville by Dr. Pepper. Grab some today.
Some people treat investing like a game, but Marcus by Goldman Sachs approaches investing in a smart way with digitally managed portfolios that leverage Goldman Sachs strategies. So, do you want to play games or do you want your money to work smart? You can money. Visit Marcus.com to learn more about saving, borrowing, and investing from Marcus by Goldman Sachs.
Investing involves risk and investments may lose value. Brokerage and investment advisory services by Goldman Sachs & Company, LLC. Member FINRA SIPC. Lending and deposits products provided by Goldman Sachs Bank USA. Member FDIC.
In college football, Goodyear knows a new season means new possibilities, where every Saturday is an opportunity on the road to greatness. No matter if you're out there playing your hardest or cheering the loudest from the sidelines, tailgating in the parking lot, or your favorite spot to watch the game, Goodyear knows passion is what drives us forward all the way to the playoffs. That's the road that moves us. Goodyear, more driven.
This is the home of the Cowboys, Rangers, and Aggie football. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Rob Thompson, Rudy J, R&R in the morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning to you. R&R in the morning, minus an R. Rudy headed off to Dr. Manrique's office. Tomorrow we're going to have him reading all the copy from 30 feet away. He's Karl Schoening. I'm Rob Thompson. We'll take you all the way to work, all the way till 10 o'clock, and then we'll go back and huddle up and get ready for halftime from noon to 2. This hour, a lot to get into. We'll certainly look at the Dallas Cowboys situation. The Tony Pollard and Zeke Elliott is a fun and interesting debate to have because hard to go wrong when you have a thunder and lightning scenario, as we saw the Cowboys offer the Chargers over the weekend. Jerry has some thoughts not only about who should be playing, but also on special teams. A little uncomfortable with Jim Fossil's aggressive special teams play, going for a punt block on a 4th and 20. Caused a roughing the kicker and giving away a transition in the ball. So we'll talk Cowboys, but before we get going and get to the headlines, saw something crawl across the screen earlier today. USC continues their search for a coach, and we see that another name thrown into the ring is Deion Sanders, currently head coach at Jackson State, and really started his coaching career last year effectively.
Prime time. You can draw in some names, maybe.
You know, we talked about some of the inadvertently some of Deion's history, it seemed kind of an odd step to jump in and be a college coach the way that he is, being Deion. But Deion has been involved with coaching for at least a decade. He was coaching a high school team for quite some time. He's bought into Arena League football. He's looked on the management side. The lifeblood of any football team is recruiting, and you get the feeling that prime time can recruit with the best of them. It's mighty deep water to jump into at USC, though.
USC seems like a gambling type of place where maybe the traditional coaching hire hasn't worked out for them, so they're going to go with the street cred hire.
Would you hire him?
It depends on the interview process, who's available, because there's obviously a few names of guys who have really built up their resume as a coach. However, those guys were not on TV. They don't have the aura of primetime walking into your house, shaking your parents' hands and saying, "I'll take care of your son." It's a little different. And at the end of the day, that's what gets recruits, is the guy that your family and you as a recruit can trust. And something about Deion Sanders' smile and how he goes about himself is the difference in maybe being the guy that they pick over UCLA.
I think it would be phenomenal for college football. I'm absolutely about Deion becoming a head coach at USC. I think he could recruit. I think the best thing that could happen to USC is to look outside the USC paradigm, which has always been, you got to get a USC guy. Got to get a guy that's been here in one shape or form before he gets here. Assistant, played, whatever it might be. I think the step away from that would be the best thing for USC. And what have you got to lose? At some point, you have to realize we're banking on old money. Haven't been worth a damn in 15 years.
Sometimes the head coaching position is just a figurehead anyway, and he can hire the assistant coaches underneath him. And those are the actual people running the show. But it's a matter of upper management delegation as opposed to, he doesn't need to be the play caller. He's enough of a football mind, I'm sure, to find the right offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. And then those guys are the smart enough ones to say, yeah, I like this wide receiver coach. I like this linebackers coach, all the way down to special teams coordinator and so on and so forth. Because at the end of the day, I've been around a good handful of football practices. The head coach lets the assistant coaches do the coaching, and he'll give his feedback. And obviously, that's something that is almost the best way to run a team that is made up of anywhere from a college team of 100 players.
The recruiting's the lifeblood, but the personality of the head coach, I think, carries a team a long way. And you're right. I think if he was to get a job like that he would have to be very diligent, and so would the athletic director, in hiring the assistants. Because you think about the success of, like, Juwan Howard, not a Deion, but a guy that came from basically being a player and jumping into being a college coach. Well, sitting right beside him is Phil Martelli, a legendary high school or college coach, the guy that knows the X's and O's and knows just the basis of how you run a practice and how you do the little things that, being an assistant and growing in programs that you learn over the years that, guys like Deion and Juwan, they were busy playing. They didn't have to learn all that. I think that, and you also Steve Nash sitting beside him is Mark D'Antoni. So new coach, but sitting beside him is a guy that knows the ropes. I would be all about it. Now, today is a big day in the college football landscape, as the group that has been putting together what we thought was going to be a new playoff system that was going to expand it greatly. Well, times have changed from that first announcement, and they're all gathering today up in Dallas. We'll talk about that in about 15 minutes. But first, let's get you caught up on all the headlines, as Karl's got them stacked and ready to go. Get us all caught up, Karl. What you got?
Here's the 411 in the 210.
All right, headline 2. The Cleveland Browns have their wide receiver Jarvis Landry put on IR with a knee injury. Will miss at least 3 games. So if he's on your fantasy squad, make sure that you adjust your lineups accordingly.
Yeah, this hurts Baker. It's not like he's had a full complement of wide receivers anyway. Have Jarvis and OBJ been healthy together at the same time?
Not really.
It doesn't really feel like it. So I don't think it's really going to greatly affect the offense, but Baker's trying to get paid. He's up for some big money, and without a star like Jarvis, that certainly isn't going to help. But I think Cleveland's in a position now where they weren't in previous years, where they can sustain or at least maintain for a little while until they get some more wide receiver help. Not the worst case scenario, and Baker will make a commercial about it.
Yeah, maybe you'll be able to find one from the Stars, if you will. All right, headline 1. Packers star Aaron Jones finds the pendant containing his dad's ashes after a frantic search. Crisis averted. He lost a pendant that's a very small piece of jewelry somewhere in Lambeau Field after his second touchdown. He discovered it was missing, and they spent all night, I think somewhere around 3 a.m. after Monday Night Football, it was found on Lambeau Field.
Yeah, so the story behind this is his father had gone to every game, certainly, and a sad story. He lost his father to COVID complication. And in recognition of that, playing a home game there in Green Bay in front of fans, he was wearing a necklace with his father's ashes around his neck. Interesting idea, but I'm for it if it makes you feel good. We lost it in his second touchdown, I believe he said, somewhere in the end zone in the celebration, and his trainer went out post-game to go find it, digging around on the field, and they did get it. I'm not sure I could have done that, but I'm all for them finding it. And Aaron Jones, I had an opportunity to interview him when he was coming out of UTEP. Great running back, and talk about a guy who effort actually bore out the work he put in, because he was an afterthought at running back. He's earned everything he's gotten. A good kid out of the El Paso area.
All righty, and headline 0. This one is not necessarily sports, but it is San Antonio related. It comes from our good friend Madeline Mendoza, as Maddie Sky writes that Manu Ginobili is now a tech investor for Latin American startups. He is part of a company, Utopia VC, a venturous capitalist firm that has invested in businesses in Argentina, Mexico, and Brazil. Announced Ginobili's commitment on Monday. We're thrilled to announce that we will be empowering Latinx community together, a post says on Utopia's social media channels. And in early August, Utopia VC secured the first $50 million to begin investing in startups based in Latin America.
Manu's the perfect face for this. And you look at what David Robinson has done, his post-career, the hedge funds that he's worked with, the name that he has on there. He's certainly got some in-house advice. But Manu comes from a bit of money anyway. This is nothing new for him. And being an angel investor in the Latin world, why not? But you got to have some big money to play, and you got to be willing and able to lose a little bit. I wonder if that's Manu's future. You ever see him coming in and doing anything with the Spurs or anything in San Antonio other than angel investing and that kind of stuff? I don't.
I see him having San Antonio as one of his couple homes, the other one being in Argentina. And obviously he is somebody who will always be a part of the San Antonio Spurs community and culture. And as those guys get further away from their playing careers, they're also still legends to the many people that will come through the Spurs as a team, whether it's for a cup of coffee or for, several years. One of the cooler things about being a Spur is still seeing Tim Duncan and Manu Ginobili in the workout facilities.
Yeah, that's I'm interested to see what Manu's take on the way that the investment structure is set up cross-border. It's not the easiest thing to deal with. Manu Ginobili, an angel investor, hedge fund manager, moving on to the next stage of his career. Well, we'll have him in the Hall of Fame next year, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So keep next summer open. That's your update. That's the news. Karl gets them for you every day. We get you all caught up on all things San Antonio. The Grilling with the Blitz is coming up on Thursday. I'm just going through some headlines here. We need to make sure you're doing what you need to do. Go to your website, sasportstar.com. Make sure you're registered for Dallas Cowboy tickets. You can upload your photos for Grilling with the Blitz, a $50 gift card from Tri-County Meat Market. And if you're not making your picks at the Pro Football Pick'em contest, you're not going to be dining on, there's no way you're going to dine on free Pinkertons and Mellow Mushroom, because that's what you get when you win on the regular basis. We talked about it just a bit ago. The expansion of the college football playoff has been met with either great excitement for those teams that always felt like they were locked out, or great concern if you're a head football coach and gives you one more reason to be judged apart from your winning and losing. The idea of a 12-team playoff seemed almost a done deal up until this summer, and then things suddenly went south. The Pac-12 hired a new commissioner who seems to be a little bit thinking outside the norm to bring the Pac-12 back to relevance. The Big 12, under Bob Bowlesby, has shrunk by 2. Their primary bell cows leaving the Big 12, headed toward the SEC. The committee that had gathered together basically in private, which included Bob Bowlesby, Greg Sankey, he of the SEC, Craig Thompson, formerly of the Pac-12, and the current athletic director with Notre Dame, the longtime Jack Swarbrick. They put together a plan that was going to expand the preseason or the postseason play, going to add up to 8, maybe 12 playoff teams. But as things have shifted, and now the ground beneath the NCAA is seeming to be less than solid, the idea of where we're going is about to change. Now, first and foremost, we got to decide, is that something that we all want? I think we all do, right? Don't we want a bigger playoff? We see the rest of the world adding more tournaments, more in-season things, more things to compete for. Why wouldn't the NCAA also want to follow suit? But that's not necessarily the case, Karl.
Yeah, 12 might be a bit excessive, and obviously with the SEC shakeup of the Longhorns and the Aggies coming in, that'll shake up and have a trickle-down effect into what happens to the Big 12 and other Group of 5 conferences that we're hoping to get in on the action with this expansion to 12 teams. We'll have to see. There's going to be some feedback from all of them as they all meet up today to discuss what maybe happens. And I don't really know where it goes, but I'll say this. There aren't 12 teams in college football that have a chance, but I would like some kind of maybe mini tournament for the Group of 5, and then the best that comes out of that can maybe have a shot in maybe a 4-team playoff. That's the 4th spot, and then 3. There's like multiple playoff forms to get it in. I know I'm getting complicated there, but
I'm with you.
You got to find something that includes these FBS teams that, like Central Florida, for example, they won 24 straight games and they didn't get into the playoffs. What else can an FBS school do? If you're going to say no, 2 undefeated seasons does not merit an opportunity to go to the college football playoffs, then what hope does a UTSA or a Texas State have if they have the best year of their program's history and they're still saying, yeah, you're maybe 6. We're going to leave you out in the cold. You're not going to have a chance to make the playoffs, but we'll say you're top 10.
Well, the argument about there's not 12 teams that are viable national champions I think is appropriate now. But we also have to keep in mind that if suddenly 12 teams were available to go play for a national title, maybe some of those 5 stars that are always going to land at Alabama don't land there. Instead of 3 deep five-star players, they're only 2 deep. And one of those 5 stars suddenly lands at a different school. And because he lands at that school, the 4-star that would have landed there lands. And there's the pecking order where suddenly you grow the field because, quite frankly, there are more opportunities to go. So I do think that the argument as we sit today saying there aren't 12 teams that are capable, well, maybe in 6 years when there are 12 teams available, suddenly there'll be enough talent spread around. The mayonnaise won't be so thick on one side of the bread where everybody gets a taste. So I do think that would grow itself, that eventually the halves, the Power 5, and only half of the Power 5 will suddenly be spread out amongst others. And I do think that would be the opening for the rest. My concern here is how do the bowls play into this? How are you going to appease the bowls if you go to 12 games and keep every bowl game involved and important? Because up until really recently, I was willing to let the bowls go for the most part because they seemed rather transient. But what I saw last year was the value of bowls just for the sake of playing the games. It felt like it meant more to those that were actually capable of doing it. So I think that was huge, and it needs to be kind of fostered. But who goes and how you get into it, there's the problem. Because suddenly at 12, the argument goes to 14. I mean, and then to 16, 18. Where do you stop? Because as we sit now, I think the 12th place team has as good a shot of winning it as the 6th place team. There's just, a huge separation from the best to the next. But I do think that could grow into it. Would you be willing to watch your college team play 16 games?
if they pay the kids, that's really what it comes down to. Is I think there needs to be some kind of monetary incentive for these kids to be putting their bodies on the line for 16 games. 12 is probably already more than enough, but yeah, eventually we're going to get to that pay to play, and eventually the Power 5 schools are essentially the ones with all of the money, or the majority. They have more money than most. They'll be able to sign players and have more of a salary cap, if you will, and that's really where the progression of college sports is going to get, the end of amateurism, because they're still playing loosely on that amateurism line by saying, okay, NIL cannot be coming straight from the school, yet the school can still sort of use their sponsors to set up the NIL money. But then you got to wonder, is this maybe the reemergence of the Ivy League athletic programs, because they have endowments in the billions, a good chunk of them. Someone like Harvard, who leads the world in endowment, what if they're able to start buying up some scholarship players? And that's really where you start wondering, are these even student athletes anymore, or are they just members of the football program that's affiliated with the University of Alabama? And if they so choose, they have an opportunity to get an education. And I think that's almost where it should go, because I've talked to Joe Austin, who's the head coach at Southwestern University. This is Division III football. You have 8 hours of sleep, you have 8 hours of school, and you have 8 hours of football. That's your 24 hours as a student athlete at the Southwestern University. And I imagine he's not the only one who tells that to his students.
Well, no, and that's a non-scholarship grant and aid school. Mm-hmm. They don't have a scholarship to hold over you. You're getting grant and aid to just come play there. The idea of amateurism, I think, is, at least it was called what it is, and that was a sham. There have been amateur athletes in college forever. You don't get free cars under the table if you're amateur. So that I agree with you there. I think that the billions that would come from an expanded playoff would fund exactly what you're talking about. I think one hand would wash the other in this situation. Suddenly more money is available that wasn't available before. You have more availability to go to a playoff, thereby your local TV deal and your local media rights are suddenly more valuable. And then you've got the billions pouring into the conferences that you're now affiliated with, the 4 or 5 that will exist here in the next 5 years. Everybody makes more money comes in, and when that starts to happen, we can question the validity or the importance of a 12-team playoff, but there is way too much money for it not to happen. That's what we're going to hear today. When they get together, they're going to say, yeah, we're reevaluating where we are, but the money that's about to flow into this is still coming. We're going to figure out a way to get it done. This is not going to go away. We will, as soon as they are able to go from 4 teams, it will be gone. We will expand because there's just too much money to deal with. Now, what they do with the money and how they appease the bowls and the players and everybody else involved, that's where the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, and I think they've had to go back to square one with that.
Yeah, John Dyer points out on Facebook that the proposal of a top 6 conference winner helps G5 schools so much, and NIL is already making it worth a lot of players. We're seeing some NCAA players choose that over their professional paths. They have a couple options that way, or more than a couple options for 18-year-olds going in to play basketball. But you don't have any option if you're looking into football. At the moment, and rightfully so, you need to play at least 3 years out of high school in a college atmosphere. And it's getting to the point where I've met several people that they just couldn't get into college. That's how it goes. Maybe they just weren't ready for it. They didn't get a good education, and that cost them what could have been a potential really good college athlete career. Let's go ahead and ease up a little bit on the student athlete and make it sort of you have to be a part-time student, and they already make it easy enough to get in. But at the end of the day, we're heading towards these athletic departments separating themselves from actually being affiliated with the school as much as they have been up to this point.
There's a school for everybody. That doesn't mean your school is open to anybody.
That's true.
There's a school for everybody. There's junior colleges. There's a lot of, if you want to play and you're good enough, you'll find a place. But I'm not for schools lowering or eliminating the entrance requirements for that university. We're still going to follow the sham that is their student athletes. Let's have a baseline. And one of them is, if you're going to play at Southwestern, at the very least, you should be nearly acceptable by Southwestern.
Oh, yeah. Those kids, they have to have good grades to get in.
The same thing for Texas A&M or Texas.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be nearly acceptable. I'm not saying you hold to the same standard, but it has to be relatively close. Because at the end of the day, as long as they're in class, they are taking a spot. They are taking a seat. They're taking a chair in a classroom that there's 100 other people wanting to get into. So at the very least, they need to be close to being able to be at that individual institution. And if they're not, go find one where you can be.
I worked at the Texas State Athletic Department, which is where I got this shirt for free. And it was the beginning of COVID. So we still had no idea when we might be able to start sports again. I think there was some kind of potential indefinite pause of a couple of years because we had heard about the whole social distancing might be needed until 2022. And obviously, thank goodness we were able to get to a better situation and get football and other sports back pretty quickly. But Larry Tice just kind of had his assistant float out an email that said the future of college athletics might be the sort of separation of athletic department and school, and they're run like their own individual clubs. And that would also be the end of scholarships and something that's probably been building up for non-revenue sports. So no longer would the athletic department need to fund the tennis scholarships or the women's soccer scholarships. And hey, you want to play Sunbelt women's soccer, you have to pay full tuition to come to Texas State. So those are potentials that might still happen, even though, thank goodness, we've gotten further away from where we thought COVID might take us.
Thank goodness. When we come back, Dallas Cowboy news. Zach Martin is a pretty good football player. Pro Football Focus tells us how good he was over the weekend. The running back, it's not a controversy, but Pollard and, well, Zeke, boy, one or the other. One makes a whole lot more. Jerry is all about first downs. Let's look at the Dallas Cowboys as they prep for a huge NFC East game Monday night against those Philadelphia Eagles, a game that you can catch right here on San Antonio's Sports Star. We're your home for the Dallas Cowboys, brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. And when we come back, we're looking at the Dallas Cowboys. Hold on tight. NFL talk coming your direction here on, well, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
The Texas Rangers fell to the New York Yankees 7-1. Rangers first baseman Andy Ibanez was the only Texas player to register more than one hit on the ballgame as he went 3 of 4 from the plate. For New York, Jordan Montgomery got the start on the mound and the win, limiting Texas to 1 run on 4 hits in his 5 2/3 innings pitched. Texas falls behind in the series 2-0, and they play the final game of the series tonight, trying to avoid the sweep with a 6:05 first pitch. The Houston Astros took care of the LA Angels 10-5 on the West Coast. Jose Urquidy got the start and the run support to get the win on the mound for Houston, thanks in part to 2 runs scored by both Jose Altuve and Yuri Gurriel. Those are your baseball headlines. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Karl Schoening.
R&R in the Morning, sitting with Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com is his website. Jason Thompson, I'm curious. I was in a car accident, but I wasn't the driver. I was just a passenger. Do I need a lawyer too?
I think anytime you are injured in an automobile collision, whether you were the driver, a passenger, the guy in the back seat, know this, that when insurance is involved, every insurance company I have ever heard of has a staff of lawyers on staff right now. As soon as that collision happens, whoever caused it is represented by an attorney. And if you think you're going to alone beat an insurance company's team of lawyers, you're sadly mistaken. The first thing you do is call me.
Jason Thompson, a lawyerforus.com, 210-900-0400. 210-900-0400, a lawyerforus.com.
Working from home, you realize you don't have enough outlets or USB ports. Hill Electric can fix that for you. For over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. From adding an outlet, fixing that fuse that always blows, or that flickering light, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, and there is never a service charge and always free estimates. Call Hill Electric at 210-404-9074. That's 404-9074. Or go to hill-electric.com. Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Now that commission-free trading is the norm, it's time to rethink how we define value. Value is more than a price tag. It's the confidence of knowing you have a team of traders on standby to answer any question. It's Thinkorswim's charting and analysis tools, and it's a personalized education to fine-tune your skills. Value is becoming smarter with every commission-free online equity trade. Discover true value with TD Ameritrade, where smart investors get smarter.
I need tech that can make me as productive in my home office as I am at my office.
It's possible with Staples Connect. How about a PC that'll help me get the most out of my day and my budget? Staples Connect makes it possible with the tools you need to work from anywhere. And now get up to $200 off select PCs, like the Lenovo IdeaPad 5i with Intel i5 processor. Explore what's new at your local Staples or staplesconnect.com. Staples Connect, the working and learning store. Ends 10/17. In-store only. Limit 2.
It's like breakfast tacos with the hot stuff. Rob Thompson, Rudy J, R&R in the morning on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
R&R in the morning. Hope your Wednesday's going great. You have a cardigan on, maybe a hoodie, feeling rather fallish. You want to fall into fall? Let's talk to Sean Rima. I don't know. That's a terrible intro, but here we sit, Sean Rima.
I'm tripping in the fall.
Yeah, we trip into the fall. Joining us, our KTSA madman who comes by every day. So on a Wednesday, what feels like the first day of fall, I see you're looking for new shoes. Start running. So looking for socks.
I'm doing cardiac rehab, so it's an exercise program that I got to go to 3 days a week, and I got to walk 15 minutes on the other days. In fact, I have to go in today. So I had to trade in my chanclas for actual sneakers, and they're old man sneakers. Look at them. I wanted the Velcro.
Respect, though. Let me. You never know when a dude goes and buys his first kicks. Are they going to look like they're,
I had my wife.
Obviously, she was with you,
and I wanted to get the Velcro ones, and she.
Yeah,
on threat of divorce, she talked me out of the Velcro strips.
Thank you, Siri. Thank you. Because you haven't quite reached the age of the Velcro, man.
It's not the years, it's the mileage.
Well,
remember your Indiana Jones.
Just sit down and tie your shoes.
I do.
You don't.
It's part of the exercise program.
So 15-minute walk.
Yeah.
And that's a step for you, man.
Yeah,
isn't
that
it?
is, because I drive to the mailbox.
So,
you understand? That's me.
So is there a goal in mind? Are you headed in a direction?
It's a 3-month program, and it's really meant to just strengthen my heart, after the heart attack. So that's really what it is. So, they have machines there. It's like a gym kind of a place you go to down at University. Or Methodist Cardiac Rehab Center. So
next thing, you're going to be walking around in athletic gear. You're going to be coming running. You're going to be a runner. You're going to be one of those guys.
What's happening to me?
You're going to have to get a little watch that counts your steps.
No, I'm never going to go that far.
Yeah, Sean Rima, catch him over on our brother station 55-1071. He goes all the way to 11 o'clock. Rudy normally joins him, but Rudy is over at Manrique, improving his vision, improving his eyesight, and he'll finally get an idea to know what we look like in the morning, Karl.
I think Rudy has a decent enough eyesight, but he doesn't want to use the contacts anymore. I think that's what it is.
I can't imagine having to do that.
Everyday contacts. I guess you get used to it, but man, no, I couldn't.
Yeah.
Not even for like a Halloween costume.
We are truly blessed that we have not had to, at least at some point, put on glasses. We went to break right as our poll was closing. We started the show talking about the good situation, though a situation, in quotes, still is at hand. Zeke Elliott and Tony Pollard. We saw the grounded pound run game that Cowboy fan hadn't seen in 2 years, and it was effective against a defense that was primed to take advantage of an offensive line that seemed to be battered. So here we sit as a Dallas Cowboy fan looking at Zeke, if one of the higher paid running backs in all the NFL, going to make, after all the financial shenanigans that goes on with the salary cap maneuvering in the NFL, upwards of $12 million as it'll count against the cap. And you got Tony Pollard coming in at under $1 million. But the output is not reflective in pay. We saw that Zeke got more snaps, though Pollard had more yards. Which would you choose if you had to choose between the two to be the starting running back for the Dallas Cowboys? We put a poll up on our Twitter sphere, SASportsStar.com. How did the poll end up, Karl?
50-50 on the button. For a little while there, Pollard jumped out to a very early lead, and then it started to creep towards Zeke. He took a little bit of lead, and literally as it was ending, it hit 50-50.
Now,
and that's where it ends.
This is obviously a problem the Cowboys, in my memory, have not had in at least a decade.
I wouldn't call it a problem.
Well, no, you're exactly right. This is not a problem, but and a question that the Cowboys hadn't had in a long time. And as we look at the salary cap ramifications of having the second highest paid quarterback in the entire world, the one who received the biggest signing bonus in the history of the NFL, and you got a Zeke Elliott that's upwards of $60 million deal, and you got a $100 million wide receiver, and you got all these other high paid players, you start thinking about how we're going to cut costs next year. And if there is a debate, normally you go with the guy that's worth less, that gets paid less. But I can't imagine the Dallas Cowboy fandom abandoning Zeke. The fact that it's even 50-50 now, I find astounding. Is this a hangover from last year? Is this the yips and the COVID-affected season that we're still looking at Zeke? No, he's not a swing back, catch the ball in the flat and turn the corner like Tony Pollard is. But what we see between the tackles is the very reason the Cowboys won. I'm astounded that there's even any question here.
Zeke is the old school running back. Pollard is the new school running back. And you need two running backs in the NFL anyway, especially because of injury, but more so for versatility. And you have a really good 1-2 punch. And even Zeke is making a couple more catches, and that's mostly because of Kellen Moore. So Pollard, he's the outside the tackles. Zeke is the guy that you're comfortable pushing inside the tackles and being back for, pass protection as well. So you need both, but it almost doesn't surprise me to see people kind of going with the flavor of the week, Tony Pollard. But it's a 17-game season. This is a 100% injury rate league. One of these guys is going to go down, and you don't want next year to be the year where you're like, man, why did we trade Zeke or why did we trade Pollard?
After the first week where Zeke had, 4 carries? Nothing. Fantasy football guys know that was nothing. A lot of questions about Zeke. And McCarthy came and said, certainly there's some other things that go into a game plan. One of them was Dak just audibled out of a lot of potential carries for Zeke. So that was one of them. And the other one, the game didn't just quite call for it. And then we also have to take into consideration the actual offense that the Cowboys are running. Kellen Moore comes from a system, Mike McCarthy comes from a system that is absolutely quarterback-centric, that the running game flows off what the quarterback does, not the other way around, where the old school, like we call Zeke, the old school back, the play action, if used appropriately with a guy that's running the ball effectively, can start drawing your safeties in and pull your linebackers in and do everything you want to open up the pass game. That's the old school idea. But not Kellen Moore, not that Boise State, not that Mike McCarthy, Green Bay. The quarterback is the be-all and end-all. Let him make the decisions. And if we have to throw the ball 60 times to do it, well, so be it. But the Cowboys' comfort level has been, at least under the Garrett years, and while Garrett is gone, most of the players are still here, was you run Zeke early, whether there's benefit or not, you run him again, and by the fourth quarter, as the Spurs are apt to say, you keep pounding the rock, eventually that rock cracks open. And that was been at least 3 years ago when the Cowboys were effective. That was Zeke in the fourth. But maybe that's not Kellen's offense, maybe that's not McCarthy's offense, and maybe they can get the same bang for their buck with a Tony Pollard and maybe another inside the tackle first-year running back and exercise that cost. Jalen Smith, he played up to the money over the weekend, but he's still a viable exit at the end of the season. You feel like one of the linebackers, other than him, maybe Leighton might be gone. Then maybe you start looking at running back. Maybe Zeke's money could be shed. Maybe he could be gone if Tony Pollard continues to flourish. We'll continue talking about that. Look at the possibility of Ben Simmons arriving and put a bow on the show. Thanks for hanging with us this morning. It's R&R in the Morning, and this is San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Get the latest scores and more from high school football online anytime at 210varsity.com. Sponsored by the San Antonio Express News. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Texas Cheer Liquor, your one-stop shop for beer, liquor, wine, and cigars. Follow them on Facebook to keep up with specials and tastings. 4 locations, 2 on Petranco, 1 past 211, 1 in 90 in Montgomery, and the all-new Texas Cheer Liquor next to Walmart Palo Alto Road, Suite 101.
Jason Minix here for Alamo Water Softeners. Whether your home is a new build or an older home, Alamo Water Softeners has a water treatment bundle with special pricing to give your home the highest quality water treatment available. Choose from several bundles, including the Premier Whole Home Bundle. Get a free standard gas or electric water heater when you purchase a select top-of-the-line water softener, plus 1 filter and reverse osmosis system. Go to AlamoWaterSofteners.com. That's AlamoWaterSofteners.com.
When it comes to replacing your home windows, nobody does it better in San Antonio than the Window Source. If you're still living with old, drafty, single-pane windows, those have got to go. Upgrade to new, Texas-made, Texas-proud, energy-efficient windows. The Window Source of San Antonio offers some of the best deals around, and all come with the assurance of a full lifetime warranty. Call 210-880-3021 to book your free estimate or visit them online to learn more. WindowSourceofSA.com. Let them old windows go.
911, what's your emergency?
This car, an SUV, it was going across, it went around the barrier and the train. Oh God.
Ma'am, did a train hit an SUV? Is that what happened?
Yes, the train is still going. The train is going and the car, I can't believe it.
You can't judge the speed of an approaching train. That's why the signals are there. Stop. Trains can't. Paid for by NHTSA.
What's up, guys? Dude Perfect here. We are so excited to announce that we are bringing the Dude Perfect Tour to your city this fall. We cannot wait to get out on the road. We are so excited.
Dude Perfect, live at AT&T Center, September 29th. Get tickets now at dudeperfect.com.
We've got our favorite overtime segments. We've got crazy new competitions. We could not be more excited to be live and in person with you. So check out dudeperfect.com for details. Signing off for now. Pound it, noggin. See ya!
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
A time when the boys of summer turn into the men of fall. When every pitch matters and every hit could change the game. The MLB postseason heard here. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hey, it's Keyshawn Johnson with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
R&R in the Morning. -1R. Rudy pulled the rip card, jumped out a little while ago. Heading over to Manrique. Dr. Manrique going to fix up his eyes. Rudy's going to be able to read copy through a wall. Tonight, we're going to head out to the Dog Pound Dojo. It's a gym over on Bandera. We're going to learn to be wrestlers. I think Rudy went and got the LASIK just so you can get out of that. But Karl and I are going to be there. Minix probably be there, too.
Oh, no, I'm just going to be a cameraman and watch you go through the workouts.
We're all going to put on the required wrestling attire. We're going to put on some tights and learn how to do suplexes. Is it suplexes or supply?
I have no idea any of this. Is this wrestling, or is this professional wrestling? Entertainment wrestling.
I think it's entertainment wrestling.
Okay, so we're jumping off ladders.
I hope.
We're going to do the Bills Mafia dive.
We just need
break a table.
We need you're the most flexible. You might be the one that has to learn all this stuff.
We'll see how this goes.
I want a mask. What would be your wrestling name?
I have not put any thought into that at all.
But I would be one of those wrestlers that parts unknown. And if you were a wrestler, would you be the good guy wrestler or would you be a heel? Would you be the bad guy?
You got to be a heel to become a face, as I understand it. You got to be the underdog that nobody likes to eventually knock off the guy that everyone likes.
I imagine that's the plot line.
Pretty sure that's how Cena and The Rock got in on what they were doing, and then eventually they became such popular characters that they noticed the popularity trending upward, and then they became the guys as everybody else. It's all scripted, obviously, but those are real athletes. You got to be in really good shape, and you got to execute moves really well. Oh yeah, it's not everybody knows it's predetermined, but it's not fake.
That's the best way I've heard it put. We're going to find out more about it. We're going to have some tickets to give away. They got a big wrestling show coming up. We're going to learn more about it tonight, and I'm sure there will be. Is video the right term? I was going to say video to prove it. What's the term if I'm using something that I'm going to watch? You don't use video anymore, do you? Is that the term instead of audio?
Yeah, we'll probably have a video
so
of it.
It is video, even though it's not going to be on videotape. We just still say the word video.
I got to be careful. I don't want to bring out a camera and all of a sudden it's not I jump into my camera and it's broken.
Oh, gosh, no, we're not taking good stuff. We're just taking appropriate stuff. Yeah, who knows? I don't want to get hurt either. I have a feeling that there's going to be some movements that are going to be tough. That's why. A big Karl there.
We'll see what happens.
We talked about it as we left. In the NBA, the news continues regarding Ben Simmons, but you get the feeling that things might be coming to a head. Brian Windhorst, who is reputable, Mark Stein, another reputable NBA type, we've known for weeks, since the end of the Sixers season, that Ben Simmons was soon to leave. We saw Doc Rivers post-game after the final loss that knocked him out, basically throwing Ben Simmons under the bus about not shooting, and it was obvious to all. And we had heard a couple of times otherwise that, they're trying to make nice, although Morey was eager to listen to big-time deals. But as we heard from Windhorst and Stein, teams have reached out, Spurs included. I think the rest of them are Sacramento. Minnesota seems to be very actively involved in this. Cleveland, who's got a wonky roster. Looks like they're trying to make a move, whether it's just for Ben Simmons or not. You can feel like that as they sit, aren't the same. The Spurs, we know by now that, yes, they've been actively involved in looking at what, the worth of Simmons and what they can get done. I believe there's another team floating around out there, that others that are asking, but it appears that Morey's looking for a superstar. Before we make a deal for a lot of little things, what about the big things like Dame or Bradley Beal? But that seems to be very quickly drying up.
Yeah, Toronto was the other team mentioned in Mark Stein's newsletter. And yeah, I don't think a Pascal Siakam would be moved, but that's probably the best player among the four teams we've been talking about. And Minnesota, all of the reports that have come out about them are, no, you can't have Anthony Edwards. You can't have Karl Anthony Towns. You can't have D'Angelo Russell. Well, who can we get out of that? Yeah, so it seems that the 76ers are getting a whole bunch of low ball offers, and I just don't think Sacramento has enough actual talent. De'Aaron Fox wouldn't be a bad return if you're talking about the best of bad returns, but I don't think any of these teams are really giving up a player that would help a contender. Talking about losing your best defender, you could legitimately put Ben Simmons on 1 through most 5s. Maybe not a center, but today in small ball center where you never know who might actually be out there. Maybe not a Jakob Poeltl, but if you're throwing out a 6'9" guy, Ben Simmons is 6'10". So, and he's as athletic as any of them. So you're really losing a Swiss Army knife defensively that should have won Defensive Player of the Year from my perspective. Somebody who can always push the break, a really good distributor. Doc Rivers just didn't really use him at all in the half-court setting offensively. He was just kind of maybe set some screens, maybe make some passes. And that's really where the 76ers ruined Ben Simmons, is they saw his flaws and they tried to build around him by saying, hey, don't worry about half-court offense. We'll get you a Tobias Harris. We'll get you a Seth Curry. We'll get you a Jimmy Butler. And thus his instincts never really developed to be that half-court scorer kind of player. Wherever he ends up, he is probably going to want to be the man. And he is worth it for whatever the 76ers eventually get, even if it's 3-4 direct picks going to Philly and swaps to give them the best of whatever the two teams agree on. So if it's like an example, one of the things we heard back at the beginning of the offseason was it would be 4 direct picks going to Philly and swap picks for 7 for the other 3 years. And so 7 years of draft capital tied up in a Ben Simmons trade.
That's ridiculous.
And it's not so ridiculous because he is so good and they're not going to get an all-star back for him.
But we can only judge on the type of trade that we've seen in the past. And while this is not the same scenario as Kawhi, it's getting close. Now, Ben isn't hurt, so there is that. But even a Kawhi Leonard, a finals MVP, didn't get that kind of return because everybody knew Kawhi wasn't going to play. Kawhi wasn't coming back. Uncle Danny wasn't going to let it happen. That he'd been spotted other places, that he wanted to be elsewhere. Well, now Ben is playing the same deck of cards that Kawhi did. And while the Spurs got an appropriate return, they didn't get bag full of beans either. They got about what a superstar that has questions is worth. Ben is a superstar with lots of questions. Now, the injury isn't an issue, but the lack of a jump shot is. I think that they tried to set the market early. They thought that there might be a little bit more interest from teams that are dealing with their own superstar problems, and none of that materialized. We haven't heard a peep from Dame, and we thought, well, maybe it was the Olympics. Maybe it was, other issues, dropping a new record or whatever it might be. But eventually Dame's going to come back and look at that roster and go, you guys have done nothing for me. I don't feel any better today than I did when the season was done. But we haven't heard that. We've seen the Wizards try to make Beal happy. They get rid of Russell, who was kind of in Beal's way. They're certainly a long way from being any good, but certainly not a lot of heat there. So I think that Morey and the rest of the crew now know that Ben has told them, look, I ain't showing, and if you don't trade me, I'll never put on another uniform, whether it's yours or anybody else's. I think they're headed toward the Kawhi land where now you start looking at those initial offers and go, well, maybe I don't need a bunch of sweetener. I just need a little bit more, just a little whipped cream on top, maybe a later pick swap. I hope that it doesn't come down to we'll do it with the Spurs if it's for Keldon.
And that's what they're probably asking for. Like I said on halftime yesterday, as a 76ers fan, if I'm making a trade with the Spurs, I want Derek White, DeJounte Murray, Keldon Johnson, Lonnie Walker, one of those guys. And if I'm a Spurs fan, I don't want to give up any of those guys. So you're probably going to have to give up at least one of them. But it's coming down to who are the best of the worst offers. And I don't know who it's going to end up being. So it might drag out until December.
I'll put it this way. I'll guarantee you this. If he lands in the right spot, Ben Simmons is a 20, 10, and 10 guy. 20, 10, and 10. I'm talking about 10 rebounds, 10 assists, and 20 buckets one way or another. Hey, thanks for hanging with us in R&R. Go take a break. Grab your juice boxes. We'll be back noon, halftime.
Fall baseball and Chris Bear and that special sound. A crack of the bat in Major League Baseball, the playoff run, and the Fall Classic. The World Series can be heard right here. Who's going to make that memorable moment that stands the test of time?
Swing and a high fly ball. Right field.